days at the stick. From who's got it better than us to brick by brick. It's always the 49ers way, from off-season to game day. Yeah, we talk back. It's the 49ers Cutback.
TCC, what's going on? You may be sitting there thinking to yourself, Cutback Chat, Mock Draft 1.0, this is exciting. I'm excited. But Alex, what is happening? The room you're in looks different, and you're not wrong. It is different. It is different looking. We're in the process of moving, so apologize. Stuff is getting taken down. Moving stuff around. I'm getting ready to be in a new place. So exciting times there. But TCC, how you doing? Happy Easter. Hopefully everything's going well. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourself. You've been enjoying your holiday with family. You've been enjoying it maybe with friends as well, and just celebrating. I hope that's been the case. I hope that's been the case for all of you. It's really all about who's available at 61. You may not be wrong, Lou, but it may be about who's available earlier for me, and maybe I want to trade up. I'm just saying, maybe that's what I want to do. Maybe that's what I'm going to do. Who knows? But look, this is going to be fun. I'm going to be talking with you all throughout the night in terms of what I'm doing with this mock draft. I'm going to be talking to you about what's going on in San Francisco 49er land as well. Maybe we'll take some time out during all of this to talk about the picks and everything else. This is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. And I'll be giving you also a little bit of a sneak peek at who's going to be on War Room tomorrow as well on Monday. No commercial video, but can at least let you know who the person or persons is going to be. So we're going to have a lot of fun. Make sure you smash that like button if you haven't already. This is my mock draft 1.0. Look, I've done, in all honesty, I've done other mock drafts. So other things have happened. I've done them before. But this is the first one that I'm putting out there for all of you, and I'm going to be doing myself. We're going to try and get as many picks in the top 150 as humanly possible. That's the goal. That's the plan. And Lou ain't wrong. Say hey, TCC. I hope everyone's been having a great day and a great holiday. I hope everyone's doing really well. We've been grinding over here, doing stuff behind the scenes, getting ready, and the poll already is lit. It's live. I'm seeing votes popping through. We're looking like about 44% of you want me to go wide receiver, 44% of you want to go O-line. We're gonna see. Answer your poll, moving up works for me. Lou, hey, maybe that's what we're gonna end up doing as well. We're gonna see what's available and what goes. We're gonna use PFF only because number one, I think they are a little bit closer on rankings than some of the other sites. So I don't have to necessarily reach as far with certain people. That's the first one. And the second one is I'm going to give you some insight in terms of what I think may or may not be happening with the 49ers. We're going to see. The gun show is in town. Alex with the muscle shirt. No, it's more of packing, man. We're just in the middle of packing, getting ready to move. And so, some things get put away. Other things don't get put away. This is the best thing I have available to wear, so that's where we're at. Stop at 50 to see if Christian Watson is available. I may stop sooner than that. For a couple of these guys and for a few of these picks. It's gonna be fun. I hope all of you are ready, and I know I'm ready. I know that I'm ready. I know that I'm excited. Something I wanted to do with the TCC all week is do this live. Last year, we put these things out, we did them on our own time, and then we put them out and talked about the picks and did a whole video series on this. And as much as fun as that was, we wanted to be able to do this live. I wanted to be able to do this live, and that's what we're doing now. I see 49ers Fogey saying best available need, and Fogey's is not wrong. He is not wrong at all whatsoever in any way, shape, or form. So look, let's get into the mock draft. Let's get over to the screen, and of course, as soon as I say that, it did its thing here. I'm gonna slide this over to my second screen. There we go. And now all of you should hopefully be able to see this wonderful, beautiful, gorgeous looking mock draft. I'm hoping that's what you're seeing. It should be what you're seeing. So look, we got tons of options on the table. We have tons of things that we can do. We're not picking until 61. Obviously, we're gonna let this thing roll. Just a smidge, just a little bit, because we want to be able to see where things are and what's going on. So we're going to be doing that in a big way. So let's let this thing roll just a little bit and see who's available where. So it looks like Aiden Hutchinson was the first guy there off the board. So edge rushers, some corners, some safeties, a tackle, cornerback Trent McDuffie going there in the top 10, which I hate seeing it because I like Trent McDuffie so much. So there's there. Why not sign Julio and get O-line in the draft at 61, said Florida Two Pistols. I mean, those are all nice, but you have to have the money to be able to sign them. You have to have the money to be able to sign Julio Jones, and right now the Niners don't have that. Right, they don't have that. Move for David Ojabo, says Jay Ellie. We'll see. We'll see what happens, my guy. We'll see what happens. It's really going to come down to who's available, right? That's the big thing right now is who is available. I want to see how that looks on your screen. That may have messed up it did just mess it up a little bit, so I'm going to pull that out a little bit. There we go, and I'm going to pull that out just a little bit there. Okay, so hopefully that's a little bit better for all of y'all. I'm going to move this up here to the top. So that's out of the way. I wanted you guys to be able to see that a little bit better. So there we go. There's that. Hopefully that's a little bit better for all of you. And you can see that there. Cleaner, I'm hoping. I'm hoping cleaner. But we'll see. We'll see. Let's see what his chat said here. Take Smoke Monday at 61 cent candy or collectible. No. What did Carolina choose? So it looks like Carolina went with a safety. So they went Kyle Hamilton. So they went with Kyle Hamilton. So that means that they didn't get their quarterback, which means the possibility of trading them Jimmy Garoppolo for picks is entirely doable. In this mock draft simulator. Why we need to make these picks count. A Metcalf type should be our target, or Tyreek Hill type. I like it. I like all of those options there. So let's hit this resume button here. I want to let this thing get to 30 to see who's where. Jermaine Johnson just went off the board. Olave goes. Linderbaum goes. Zion Johnson goes. Raymond goes. Penning goes. Kyrie Elam goes. Traylon Burks goes. Lewis Sine. Andrew Booth. David Ojabo at 30. Kenyon Green. Okay, so there at 32 was Kenny Pickett, quarterback out of Pittsburgh. So we just had a quarterback go there at 32, and that was nasty there. Nasty cough. My apologies, TCC. So it's going to be interesting. We're going to see. We're going to see here. We do have some options available. We do have some options. Boye Mafe is still on the board. He's definitely a guy that I can still go after here if I really wanted to. Arnold Ebiketie still available. I do want to let this thing roll a little bit and get a little bit closer towards 35, 36 and see what happens. So let's find out. There's Ebiketie. So Ebiketie goes off the board at 33. I did not expect that. So we'll see what the Giants. I have a feeling the Giants here or the Jets may go Boye Mafe. If either one of them goes Boye Mafe, then I'm sitting in a spot here. I'm going to be sitting in a spot where, and I just realized I probably have the YouTube logo over my face, which is that's exactly what you guys want to see, right? You want to see the YouTube logo over my face? That's glorious, right? Thank you, YouTube, for doing that for me. I really appreciate that. So look, I didn't expect that. I was expecting Ebiketie to get to that 35, 36 range. We'll see if Boye Mafe goes off the board here in the next two picks. Okay, so Boye Mafe is still on the board here. 37, he could be gone with the Texans. Ideally here, I'd like to trade up to 38. That's what I'd like to do in this scenario, because you have a chance to get an Ebiketie at this spot. There's also going to be a lot of good wide receivers at this spot as well. Ideally would like to keep 61 if possible. I would love to keep 61 if possible. So if I can keep 61, that would be great. It would be absolutely wonderful. So let's see if we can get pick 38. Let's see if we can give them pick 39. Ooh, they're going to make this tough for me. They're going to want a second and a third round compensatory. Can I do that? Second and a third in 2024. If I give them a third and a second. Okay. So this allows me to give up a second round pick in 2024. A third round pick in 2023, which is going to end up being a compensatory pick. Right? It's going to end up being a compensatory pick because we're going to get a compensatory pick back. We're going to lose some people. Right? We're going to lose some people. Is there any way that I can add? Okay. I can potentially get a fourth. So this would be essentially me moving up 30 spots, giving up a second round compensatory pick and a third and fourth round pick swap. If I give a third round pick swap, it drops completely. Okay, yeah. So let's go this route. Let's go the pick swap. This allows us to keep pick 61 as well, which we may be able to trade up or trade back for at that point in time as well. So let's offer up this trade. Let's see if we get it. Okay, we got it. So we got a round 4 in 2023. We gave up a round 3 pick in 2023 and a round 2 pick in 2024. We're anticipating getting compensatory picks back for losing either players or coaches in next season. We're going to lose some coaches. You know that's going to happen, TCC. D'Amico Ryans is probably on the outs, which means it's going to get us two potentially third-round compensatory picks back in the future. So we're moving up 30 spots, and we got a pick swap essentially in 2023, our third round for a fourth rounder from the Jets. And that could be a high fourth, and if it's the Niners, it's a background third. So we're looking at similar quality in terms of picks, maybe ends up being 10 spots or so. Right, 10 spots or so. Okay, so let's resume the draft. Let's let one guy go off the board, and it's Sam Howell. So this is great because I wanted impact. Ideally, wanted someone like Boye Mafe, who is still sitting here at 34. Right, he's still sitting here at 34, and I have pick 61 still. I still have pick 61. That's still available, still on the board. Steele is John Mechie from Alabama. Florida Pistols, I agree with you. Jets, Watson, more Jets. You mean 93? I did mean 93. My apologies, TCC. So, I mean, look, I have pick 61 still on the board. What trade options are here? 42, that's too far back. Okay, so if I was thinking if we had a 40 here, if we had a 40 and the Seahawks wanted to come up, I definitely was looking at it. I'm seeing Luce Moore. There's just one problem with Sky Moore. I don't see it. I see speed, right? I see ability to potentially run after the catch. Yeah, that's all there. But I don't see a route tree. I don't see size. I don't know how he adds anything else to this team that we don't already have. And there's going to be talented wide receivers who can still do that. I can still get a guy like Alec Pierce who's got the size and add something to the room that we don't already have as in the receiving room a little bit later. I can add a John Mechie a little bit later as well. I can add a Khalil Shakir who does a lot more things than a Sky Moore does. Yes, Sky Moore has speed. That's great. But like I said, I have my hangups here. I love Jalen Petrie as well, but I want that guy opposite of Bosa. I really, really do want that guy opposite of Bosa. Now, here's the real question. Let's look what other edges are there. Let's see what other edge rushers are here. Cameron Thomas, DeMarvin Leal. Some good wide receiver prospects. Christian Watson still on the board. I mean, I'm having a really hard time here not wanting to just pull the trigger on Boye Mafe. I wanted to come up for a guy who could be an impact edge rusher that could potentially push to start. That's what I'm looking for. I know the Niners signed, Toure. I get that they just did that, but they will build through the draft this way. They will be aggressive and build this edge through the draft. You can also trade away some of these pieces that you've signed, right? You've got all these guys. I mean, we got a plethora of dudes. You can trade away some of these dudes. You can trade away pieces. So I'm going to go with Boye Mafe here, okay, which I think is solid. We still have pick 61, which is great for us. We still have pick 61. We need to be able to get a slot guy, ideally in the cornerback slot, which means I can trade back into the 90 range in order to get that. Okay, I can still accomplish that. I mean, we're in solid spot here. We're in solid positioning. Christian Watson just went at 52. We're still going to have people. We're still going to have options here. I mean, at 61 right now, we're sitting in a good spot. Wide receiver, you still got Tolbert, you got Ross, you got Alec Pierce, who's still on the board, you got Khalil Shakir, you got John Mechie. I mean, we could, in theory, trade back here and still get the things that we want out of this. Let me look at tackles. What do we got tackle-wise right here? I like Dice. Dice has flexibility, can move inside and out. Max Mitchell there at Louisiana. Absolutely love Max Mitchell. If you don't pick Watson, 49ers Twitter will hate you. Hey, they're going to hate me then, man, because I wasn't able to get him. I traded up and didn't take him at that spot. I went with Boye Mafe, went with the edge rusher. No, we need O-line, says Mr. Sweden. Look, I'm looking at O-line options right now, and I'm liking some of the names that I'm seeing that are available. I love Dylan Parham here at 67. I love Cole Strange, Donovan West. All of these are solid names here at this point. Cam Jurgens as well. Alec Lindstrom, I still love that. Let's see what the trade option is. Trade option is 92. That's way too far back. is way too far back. Way too far back. I can't go back far back. What I can do, though, is come back up into the 90s. I can do that. I can come back into the 90s, or even the hundreds if I need to, in order to get somebody. Not Ross, says Coach Ant. You're funny, Ant. You're funny. You're funny. I'm not going Ross here, man. There's no way I can go Ross. I can't talk myself into that. Look, I love Dylan Parham. I absolutely love Kellen Deich. I love his flexibility. I love the pass pros out of him. I love Alec Pierce here as well at this spot at 75. Khalil Shakir, what he can do. Donovan West. I mean, there's a lot of solid options here. A lot of solid options here. This is difficult. Very, very difficult. JLE saying Troy Anderson. I like Troy Anderson. I love the speed that he possesses. I love a lot of the things that he does. Darian Kennard, not so much there in this spot. Kirby Joseph is nice, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm very, very torn at this spot here. This is a spot typically where there's more trade options. This is a spot that after trading up, I would like to trade back and recoup some capital, but I don't think I'm going to have that opportunity. I don't think I'm going to have that choice or that option. So I'm wondering here if the best thing to do is either take a wide receiver a little bit earlier that I want to add to this roster, or to go a guy like Dylan Parham, who makes sense on the interior with the O-line, has flexibility, can play inside out. I really like that. I do like that. What's going to make Trey Lance more comfortable? I would say what's going to make Trey Lance more comfortable is going to be wide receiver, right? Wide receiver, dynamic wide receiver, can do a bunch of different things, which is why I like Alec Pierce, but it's also why Khalil Shakir makes the most sense. It's why Khalil Shakir makes the most sense. So you know what I'm actually going to do? I'm going to do two things here. Caleb, you just sold me on it. We're going to trade. We're going to trade with this team here, with the Green Bay Packers. We're going to trade. But what we're going to do is recoup a third and a fourth so we can try and move back up again here. We're going to try and move back up and get ourselves Khalil Shakir a little bit later, and give us some capital and some more flexibility to come up again and attack before 134. Or before 134 as well. That's what we're going to do. We're going to trade back here to 92. We're going to try and use 92 to come back up into the 80s. And get the receiver that we want. Okay, so we got a third and a fourth for pick 90 and pick 92 for pick 61. Okay, so let's let this thing roll a little bit. There goes Cameron Thomas. There goes Lucas. There goes Kingsley. I didn't get to see who that was there. That was Martin Emerson, Darian Kennard. Okay, Perry and Winfrey. Troy Anderson goes. Brandon Smith goes. Jalen Tolbert goes. There's Pascal. Petit Frere. Daniel Falele. Kirby Joseph. John Mechie. Whew. All right, we're getting to a spot now where I'm getting a little nervous. Baltimore here at this spot. Ooh, this is tough. Okay. I think we're going to go this route here. Let's see if we can do this. Let's go 92, 187, and a round 4 for pick 76. Daubs is interesting. I agree with that there. Or, I mean, he could fall back here, right? I mean, he could fall. I mean, I still got I got 3 guys technically on the board still. I still got Alec Pierce, I still got Khalil Shakir, and I still got Mechie just went, right? And Daubs is still on the board. So, I mean, I still have 2 guys here that I want. So he's not going there. So 77 maybe a better pickup, maybe even 78. I don't think they'll go wide receiver. 78, though, is interesting. Let's see here. Let's see. If I go 78, 92, and 105, come up. Give me maybe a fifth. I take this fourth. 69% chance. Okay, I'm going to go this route. 78, 77. I highly doubt Minnesota's going to go wide receiver here. Let's see if we can get this one here. 92 and 105 for 78 and a round 4 pick from the Browns. Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay, perfect. Couldn't go any better than that. Literally couldn't go any better than that. I got 3 trade offers too. 87 is the next one. I'm not even going to mess around with this here. I'm not going to mess around with this guy going anywhere else. Khalil Shakir. Don't like that value, he said. Okay, I mean, hey, I get it. I get it. But we get Khalil Shakir here at 80. Or 78, excuse me. And now we don't pick again until 134. So we're going to let this thing roll a little bit. Marcus Jones just went off the board. So it's some corner prospects get off the board here. Went guard, interior D-line, some safeties going off the board as well. Cam Taylor-Britt, I like that a lot. Ant thinks I got fleeced. I don't like it, Ant. I don't like it. Max Mitchell there off the board as well. Luke Gadecki, Kellen Dyche, Ryan Cook. Okay. Let's see if at 111... actually, yeah, let's go 112 with the Giants. Can we come back up at 112? Can we come back up at 112? Let's see here. We got fourth round possibility. Okay. Give him 220. Actually, we'll give him 221. Round 4. Round 5. 64% chance is what this is saying with the Jets at 112. Let's see if we can move back up into the 100s right before 134 without having giving it up. Perfect. Perfect. Let this thing roll a little bit. Some corners coming off the board. Okay, and this is great because I have options already here that I absolutely love. Who did you take at 38? So at 38, I got Boye Mafe, Ant. I got Boye Mafe there at 38. Boye Mafe at 38. Got Khalil Shakir at 78. And now I'm picking at 112. So now we're sitting around here at 112. I got Zach Tom that's sitting here at 92. I got Cordell Flott, cornerback out of LSU, who has some flexibility. I like some things that I've seen out of that gentleman. Brian Robinson still on the board. Matt Waletzko as well. Kate Otten, one of my favorite tight ends in the entire draft, is still sitting here. Tariq Castro-Field sitting there at 129 as well. So I still have an option at 134 with a corner. Okay. Still have an option at 129 here with a corner and Tariq Castro-Fields. But I think I have to go Zach Tom here. I absolutely love this. Absolutely love Zach Tom and the flexibility of this sport, this point, this spot of the draft, with things that are available. Right here are the wide receivers that are available. Some of these guys can go later at the 170 range. I can still go after my boy Danny Gray here at that 187 pick. We still have pick 220. We still have Mr. Irrelevant as well. Boop, 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 boop. Well, let's go there. Don't hate that either. I don't hate that either. I'm really hoping we can get Kate Otten at 134. Really hoping. Chris Paul, we need to improve point guard play, said Caleb. We got to improve the point guard play. Look, no, Lou. No to who? No to Tom? You saying no to Tom? Who's the better tackle prospect here that you're thinking? Who's the better option? Or are you saying no to Caleb? Because I agree with you on the no to Caleb. I agree on that. I don't necessarily like the Chris Paul at that spot there. That option. Zach Tom has flexibility to be able to play center as well, so you have that option also. You still have Cam Jurgens sitting here at 143. You're going to have Alec Lindstrom at the 187 range where we're going to be picking. I mean, I like that. I like that flexibility. Or maybe corner is the route to go. Maybe you go a Cordell Flott right now. You go corner right now knowing that there's guys later that I could get. No tackle, he's saying. I do like the options. I do like the options later. I like Cam Jurgens. We still got Alec Lindstrom that's sitting there on the board. I mean, we're picking a lot here between 112 and 200. I mean, we got 90 spots. We got 5 picks. 5 picks at this point in time. There's a lot of talent here and a lot of names on this board. A lot of possibilities. A lot of possibilities. So you know what? I'm gonna agree with you on this here. I'm gonna agree with you on this. I don't think the tackle is the best possible situation. 49ers media, how you doing, man? How you doing? Hopefully you're having a good night. Hopefully you're having a good night. 2 talented safeties here still at the top of the board as well. You better pick Beef Jerky. I'm assuming that's supposed to be Cam Jurgens, Caleb. Look, I'm going to take the corner then. I'm going to take the corner, Cordell Flott. Of the cornerback options that are going to be available, these are the 2 that I like the most, Tariq Castro-Fields and Cordell Flott. I don't know if we're going to have Tariq Castro-Fields a little bit later. I do believe this is not a bad selection here at this spot. And there are some nice names down here a little bit later, but it's going to be hard. And we need another solid cornerback. So I'm going to go that route. I'm going to go Cordell Flott, and we're going to let this thing roll to 134. Unless I see a name not coming off the board here, a few spots earlier. Dang it. Oh, it's just pain, Ant. It's just pain right now. Sadness and pain with K-Dot and coming off the board to the gosh darn Browns. Gosh darn Browns. And just TZC, I mean, this was smart. It was good to take the guy I just took, Cordell Flott, because Tariq Castro-Fields did not make it. He did not make it. So if I didn't go corner there, we weren't getting a corner. Oh, the pain in my soul. All right, well, we're just going to let this thing roll. We're going to see who falls to us at 134. There's still going to be some good options. Cam Jurgens just went off the board. Tyreek Smith there off the board. That's solid. Josh Jobe goes. Let's see here. Terrell Bernard, Zamir White, Jalen Weidermeyer. Okay. First and foremost, let's look at the wide receiver options and what we have. Okay, we're fine on wide receivers. We can wait a little bit more. This isn't a big deal. Let's take a look at running backs. Pierre Strong still here at 140. That's not a bad take. O-line. There's absolutely no substitute is the reason for the 49ers' demise. Mr. Sweden, maybe you're right, but, Trey does have capabilities and things here. Matt Waletzko still available. I don't love any of these tackle options anymore. But like interior O-line, I mean, we still got Alec Lindstrom sitting here at 187. We could take him potentially maybe at 172. Maybe. Possibly. I'm seeing Zawandri Wright. People are liking that. Sterling Weatherford. I do like Sterling Weatherford. I like Pierre Strong here at 140 as well. And Green Bay wants to trade up. Green Bay wants to trade up from 140. What picks do they have? 140 and 171? I don't know. Who took Marcus Jones? That's a solid question. He went a little bit earlier than I was expecting. 182 to the Falcons. There was a run on corners there. Dink. And then just a few spots later as well, you had Cam Taylor-Britt at Nebraska go. So they went, cornerbacks went quick. I love Pierre Strong in this spot. I really, really do. I like Zaquandre White also, but Pierre Strong is kind of the guy that I would be targeting in these spots. The thing is, though, with the amount of names that are here, I might be able to get him later. We may be able to move back 4 spots, pick up an additional pick maybe. Pick up an additional pick in the top 170 and maybe move back up to 150. Maybe move back up to 150. Nope, not going to risk it. Right? What I don't want to risk is moving back and not having the guy that I want. You don't want to do that when you do these. So as much as I probably shouldn't take Pierre Strong here, I'm going to, just because I think the running back scheme and the fit and what he can do in the system works. This is the back end of the 4th round. This makes sense at this spot. I'm taking it. You're saying Mumford at guard? Thayer Munford? I don't know if he fits the scheme. I like Thayer Munford. I don't know if he necessarily fits the scheme what the Niners are looking to do. I don't necessarily believe that. And he's not starting over Daniel Brunskill or necessarily Aaron Banks. Lindstrom needs to wait a year. You're right. But, I mean, and literally all of the guys that are up here right now on this board need to wait a year. All of them do. Every single one of them. They all have to. So I'm going to go with the running back. I'm going to give another weapon in the offense. I'm going to hedge our bets and make sure that if Trey Sermon doesn't develop and become the guy that we think he can be, that you have another guy that can come in and spell and add a little bit a different type of dynamic to this running back room than what, Elijah Mitchell already brings. With some of the power speed combination, we add the speed in. We give him the speed help next to that. Okay. So we got 172 there. Thayer Munford goes off the board. Not long after that, Rachaad White goes, Zachary Carter goes, Chris Paul goes, Kyle Phillips goes, DeMarco Jackson goes, Amari Barno just went, Marquise Bell just went. Oh, safety, run on safety there. I hate to see that. I absolutely hate to see the run on safety. Just depressing. The safety run there. Yusuf Corker goes as well. Tyler Batty, Charlie Kohler, Tyson Anderson, Braxton Jones, Jermaine Waller, Jack Sanborn, Velus Jones, Danny Gray. That's depressing there, watching Danny Gray go just before that. But the nice thing is we get to 172. These are the options that are here. Lots of good names, lots of solid choices for the San Francisco 49ers. Lots of solid choices for me. Strong's yard per carry is bonkers. You're not wrong there. You are not wrong. It is bonkers. It is absolutely bonkers. Let's look at the wideouts. Some solid choices here. Let's look at the interior O-line. Still got ourselves Alec Lindstrom sitting here at this spot. Should be moving up in the draft. I mean, Lou, did I not? Trade Jimmy G. I'm not going to do that. Even though the Carolina Panthers did not take Malik Willis, and I could have traded Jimmy G to the Panthers for a steal of a haul. I'm not going to do it right now because I don't know if it's going to happen. I just don't know if it's going to happen. Interior O-line, that was that. Safeties. Leon Neal, Percy Butler, Brad Hawkins, Trey Sterling. Don't really like any of those options, boys and girls. Don't like him. Don't like him, JLA. I don't like him. I think Alec Lindstrom is probably the pick here also. I want to make sure that I get my guy, right? I want to make sure I get my interior alignment. I don't know if he'll be here in 15 picks. He's probably gone. This is probably the best slot to take him at this point. The best slot to take him. All right. It's going to be Lindstrom. He fits the scheme. I mean, he talked about a guy who's a perfect scheme fit. He's intelligent. He understands the offense. I mean, he's a smart guy. He fits in the zone scheme. He's going to work out well. Yeah, he needs some time to develop, but he's going to provide some competition as well. He's going to provide some competition. Hassan Haskins goes. Jalen Armour Davis goes. That's a nice solid take. Jalen Armour Davis there is a nice solid take. Here's the real question. The real question is, can I come back up and get the guy I really want to get here at the end of this thing? So 187. Look, everyone feels whatever they weigh about wide receivers. We took one already. We got Khalil Shakir already in here. Wait too late to trade Jimmy G. You're not wrong. I mean, it'd be silly to trade Jimmy G at this point. But I'm trying to think here. Where. Where is it? There he is. Anyway, I'm going to take a wide receiver here. I'm going to add another weapon into the room. I'm going to add in Reggie Roberson. We got our O-lineman. We got our center. We're taking Reggie Roberson here at this slot. Just a few spots before he's supposed to go. And we are going to just let this thing roll at this point. Interior D-line maybe, or linebacker. There might be some names that fall to me in a little bit here. With these last two picks at 220 and 262, it's really all about getting the guy that I think can have the biggest impact. Two guys that can have the biggest impact and maybe slot into and slide into their own and do some big things. That's what we're looking for. As Ant likes to say, elite traits. Elite traits. At 187, no one's starting. Possibly not, but they're filling a role, right? They're filling a role, and that's what you want. You want guys who can fill roles for your football team. That's what you're looking for, is guys who can fill roles. Guys who can add something to your room. Look, Cole Turner is a guy that Ant and I both like. Derek G. Jr., what position is he? He's a tight end. He's a tight end, but Ant and I have talked about this. We talked about this in our tight end episode the other day. Doesn't add a lot of speed aspect necessarily to your room. Doesn't do a lot of big things here in terms of separating off routes. I have issues with that take there because I think he's not going to be able to translate at the next level. I don't know if he's going to. I don't know if he's going to. So it's one of those things where, as much as Derek Deese, there's a history and a connection to San Francisco, I don't know if it's going to be, I don't know if it's a scheme fit. I don't know if it makes sense for the San Francisco 49ers to go that route. I really don't. But what I do know is that Cole Turner is a guy who's closer to being a complete tight end than a lot of the other tight ends that we have talked about and discussed. We talked about this on our tight ends video. And while I don't necessarily know if he can beat out one of the guys that you currently have, I think he's in a closer position to be able to compete in your tight end room. And maybe be able to bump a Ross Dwelley out of the room, or potentially slot in and sneak into your practice squad early in the year, and then find a way to make his way onto the roster by the time you get there. So I like Cole Turner here. I'm a big proponent of improving the tight end room. If you're new here to the podcast, if you're new here to the show, I have been saying this since last season. When everyone was saying that Ross Dwelley was a bona fide tight end too, your boy here was sitting here going, I don't know if I trust Ross Dwelley. I don't believe that Ross Dwelley is, that close to being a George Kittle type player or someone that you feel comfortable with. I feel comfortable in some spots with Ross Dwelley, but not a lot of spots. And while Cole Turner is not going to necessarily give me a better feel, it does signal to me that you're trying to improve the room. Did you watch the USFL today? I watched it yesterday. I didn't get to watch it today. As you can see, my room is barren. Let me look at it behind me. Look at that thing. It's barren, man. It is absolutely barren. So we've been doing a lot of packing and moving, so I haven't had a chance to. JLA saying safety Butler. You're talking about Percy Butler. Not as big on Percy Butler. Not as big. I missed out on Marquise Bell. That's the guy I was really targeting. He went at, I believe, let me see if I can find it. It was during the run of safeties that occurred, and there was a lot of safeties going. Can't find it. I don't know what happened to it. Thought it was right in this area. There he is, 146. So you had Weatherford at 144, Marquise Bell at 146. My original plan was to trade right here at 150 with the Bears. So if he had slid past this murderer's row here of teams drafting a safety, the Jets, as you can see, taking the same guy that I'm looking at, the Giants, the Bears, if he had snuck past this section right here at 150, I was going to make the move up to get him. 100% was going to. And unfortunately, he didn't go, which means I'm sticking with my current safety room and probably re-signing Jaquiski Tart this offseason. That's what I'm doing. That's the route I'm going. So Cole Turner, though, is going to be the guy. That's going to be the name here at 220. And then we have Mr. Irrelevant. And I like making the Mr. Irrelevant pick just for the giggles of seeing who's there, maybe throwing out a name that people aren't expecting or are ready for. That's always something that I like doing here. Every time I do this, I try not to trade away 262 just to make the pick. I just want to make it. That's it. That's all I want to do. I just want to make the pick. So we'll see who's available at that spot. We'll see who's available. The real question is, though, TCC, is how do you feel about this mock draft? How do you feel about it? How do you like this mock draft? How would you grade it, I guess is the right way to put it. Grade, Alex says, mock draft, TCC. And we're going to go A, B, C, and then D to F. We'll see how everyone feels. And I know some of you are going to want to wait until the very end. And look at this at 262, Caleb. Caleb, look. Caleb, it's just for you, my guy. I can take Matt Ariaza. I can do it. I could draft the punter at Mr. Irrelevant. That would be a steal. And Mr. Irrelevant, if he was actually there, that would be 100% a steal. I'm seeing center from Utah Ford, running back 262. All of those are definitely options. You're not wrong. There's his guy. There's Lou's guy, Connor Hayward. You go that route. You can go an Abraham Smith. You can go a Kyron Johnson as well. Name that I like. A name that I'm a big fan of. 100% could do it. 100% could do it. Let's go through the next page of players. He is good, Gary. He's really, really good. I mean, talk about a guy with a leg who could do a lot of different things. Can flip the field. It puts competition in your punting room and at your special teams category. It 100% does. It definitely does. So it's interesting. It's interesting that he's sitting here, because hardly ever do you see him in these spots at this point in time. You just don't typically see that. Isaiah Pacheco, running back out of Rutgers, could add the speed in that category as well. You could do that. Trey Williams, Zachary Thomas, and there's Alex Wright, edge rusher at a UAB. Love me some Alex Wright at a UAB. Boy, oh boy, do I love me some Alex Wright at a UAB. But look, I am going to swerve on all of you. Oh, we got D to F's in the oh man, D to F's in the oh my soul. Oh my soul. TCC, how could you? I'm going to swerve here, and we're going to go De'Aaron King. And I'll make my pitch for De'Aaron King and why. Look, at the end of the day, he is going to be a guy that could potentially do a lot of different things. Yeah, there's quarterback opportunities and options. Yes, there is also, running back and wide receiver things that we've heard about and that have been coming up. But at the end of the day, there's versatility. There's versatility. And that's what the 49ers are looking to do, is add versatility. That's what they want. That's what they're looking for. So let's look at this mock draft. And after we look at it and talk about it, you guys can let me know. We'll go to the other screen and then come back to this maybe a couple times and just take a look. So we traded up to 38. We got pick 38 and a round 4 pick. We gave up pick 93, a third round compensatory, and a second rounder in 2024. Just get Ariaza. 49er, yeah, a lot of trades. So we traded up and got Boye Mafe at 38. Then we traded from 92. We traded 92 and 105. Traded up to get pick 78 and a fourth rounder, and we got Khalil Shakir, dynamic wide receiver at Boise State, really fits in the system. Can do a lot of different things, definitely utilized in a lot of different ways. From there, we traded pick we received pick 92. Okay, so we traded pick 61 because we held on to 61. So we traded pick 61. That was to get us to I think 78. I'm not sure exactly how we got to 78. How did we get to 78? Oh, we got Cleveland's pick 78. So we traded pick 61, traded it back to 92 for a third and a fourth. Okay. We traded up to 112, packaged some stuff together. We gave up a round 6 pick, gave up a round 4 and a round 5. Able to come up to 112. We were able to get Cordell Flott. At 134, we were able to take Pierre Strong. We got our center, Alec Lindstrom, center guard hybrid. You got Reggie Roberson at pick 187. Took Cole Turner late, and then took a dynamic quarterback, running back, wide receiving slot option in De'Aaron King, who fills a lot of different roles and can do a lot of different things for the San Francisco 49ers. You address the wide receiver room in a huge way, getting 2 dynamic guys who can do a lot of things with the football in their hand, run after the catch, etc. Really upgrade the room, right? If you're talking about wide receiver 3 now, wide receiver 4, things of that nature, it's definitely upgraded. You have guys who are more akin to Brandon Ayuk, right? Deebo Samuel in terms of how they fit in the offense, rather than guys like Mohamed Sanu and River Craycraft with those picks at pick 78 and pick 187. All right, and you came up and got the edge rusher Boye Mafe there, sitting at 38, fell almost all the way to 40. You're able to get a guy who's ranked in the top 35 picks at almost pick 40, and in doing so, have made your edge rushing group that much more dominant and special, but have also given yourself the flexibility to do a lot of different things. You now have Boye Mafe, who doesn't have to play every single snap. You have Samson Ebicom, who can start. Right? On the edge, Boye Mafe can come in on pass rushing downs. All right, you have Jordan Willis and all these other guys who now become trade pieces for other teams that may be looking for edge rushing talent. You are stacked at the edge rushing position. Your D line is stacked. You got a talented guy in Cordell Flott who can do some things in the cornerback room. All right, you got Pierre Strong in the running back room. You got the speed to go along with Elijah Mitchell's power and versatility. A lot of stuff there that you can do. A lot of pieces. Definitely not my favorite mock draft that I've done, but this is mock draft 1.0. This is what I'm doing for you. This is what I'm putting out there. This is still what I think the Niners are going to do. I still think they're going to go edge. I think they're going to try and be aggressive. I still think they're going to try and address wide receiver early in this draft. I think cornerback is definitely an option and something they may want to do. And the Niners should learn from me. Learn from me in terms of the mistake I made. All right, I should have come up from 134. Again, I should have came up into the early 100s. I should have found a way to hold on to pick 105. Because if I could have held on to pick 105, I still could have either gotten a corner that I really liked, either a Cam Taylor-Britt. I could have still moved up and got myself a Marcus Jones. All that. Jag, no safeties. Yes, because I'm re-signing Jaquiski Tart. That's what I'm doing. There wasn't a safety that was worth the salt where I was picking with the things that I wanted to address. So we're going Jaquiski Tart. We're calling him up. And we're saying, hey, you saw the draft. Quit Kwaski. Here, hold on. Let me actually. Kwaski. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's the two-time. I'm just kidding. It's Alex. Yeah, no, we didn't sign a safety. No, we didn't draft one. You know why? Because we want you to come home. Yeah. Yeah, I know people are upset that you dropped a pick. I get that. What? Oh, you love us too? Well, I'm so glad to hear that because that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. That 36% Wadamar Ariaza, you made me break character there, Candy Arcs. I saw that wonderful there. Cordell Flott is a solid nickel cornerback, and he has more size than Marcus Jones. I like it. There you go. Michael Duran likes the pick. Marcus Jones was definitely the guy I was looking to target, but when he's not there, not available, we almost went Zach Tom there at 112. And a couple people in chat were like, hey, there's some other offensive linemen you could go get a little bit later. There's some other guys. Why don't we focus on those other guys? Okay, so Boye Mafe, Khalil Shakir, Cordell Flott, Pierre Strong, Alec Lindstrom, Reggie Roberson, Cole Turner, and De'Aaron King. I know the De'Aaron King one might shock some people. I get that. I get that it might surprise some of you. I understand that. But he does a lot of potential things. And it's 262, right? It's the last pick. I mean, it's the last pick of the draft. What are the Niners really going to do with that? What are they really going to do with that? Right? It feels like, if anything, if the Niners are still picking there at 262, the Niners have a bigger problem. They really do. Michael Wright, I think, is the other slot corner I like later. I'm surprised no interior linemen and no safeties. We did go Alec Lindstrom, who has a capability and possibility of not only playing center, but sliding in at guard. There's that. I know there's people who aren't very high on him. I get that. I understand that. Some people are concerned about size, but the intelligence is there. He's a Kyle Shanahan offensive lineman. Smart, understands the system, played in the zone scheme at Boston College. It all translates. It does. He's more of a scheme fit than what Aaron Banks was when you drafted him. He's going to have less of a problem transitioning in. And I'm still not necessarily convinced that the San Francisco 49ers want to address the line. They may like the options that they have. Kyle Shanahan may think he has plenty of guys on the roster who could slot in and start at guard and then be totally fine. And, any day now, Daniel Brunskill signing his tender, right? Any day now? Maybe, possibly. Nick Cross at 61, maybe edge Josh Pascal in the third round. He wasn't there in the third, Jag. Josh Pascal was not there in the third. I think he went very early in the second or middle of the second. Might have been the back end of the second. I'm not sure. Don't know exactly where it was, but it was close to that. Interior defensive lineman, sorry. No, I didn't go interior D-line. I don't think the Niners are going to address that. Not this draft. Not this time around. So TCC anyway, let me know what you think. If you hate it, let me know about it. 52% giving me the DF. I'm not gonna lie, pain. It's pain. Pain on the D to F. If it's a D to F, why? Let me know in the comment section right now. Why is it a D to F? Why is it a D to F? And what do you guys think the Niners are actually going to do? What positions do you think they're going to target and why? Because I think a lot of people are thinking safety. I think a lot of people are thinking line. And I understand that what the 49ers thought process, fan base's thought process wise. But, this is a big but, the Niners have not typically addressed the line early in drafts. They've done it late, right? And also, they went 2 linemen last year. Everyone, 49ers fans love to talk about hypotheticals, right? What ifs, why the Niners may do something, why they may not do something, and why haven't they traded Jimmy Garoppolo, right? Is it because Trey's not ready? Well, if you're drafting offensive linemen this year, are you drafting offensive line because Aaron Banks and Jalen Moore, you missed on those picks? Right? Right, TCC? Right, 49ers fans? I mean, the logic has to follow. A lot of people are upset about Jimmy. The same reason they're upset about Jimmy is the same reason why they wanted to draft an O-line. Or they say it's a different reason, but there's that. DB is our weakness. Nickel corner is our weakness right now. Pistols, you're not wrong. Nickel corner is a problem. I wouldn't say DB overall, nickel spot specifically, but the Niners can address it in more than just one way. So in this mock draft, right, I got Cordell Flott. The Niners could also re-sign Jason Verrett. Move him into the nickel. You have Cordell Flott who can compete. You have Aubrey Thomas developing and pushing. Manuel Mosley on the outside. Alex, the 49ers agree with you, edge and wide receiver. I think they do, Lou. And that's what I'm trying to do, right? I'm not trying to so much do what I want. I mean, if you guys want, I can pull this thing up and do a quick what I want version of this same exact thing. I can do what I want, and I can do that without trading anyone. I don't have to make any trades to do what I want. I hope the 49ers side Ted Nugent for a couple of years, said Phil Clogger. Well, I mean, that would be interesting. I don't know how it's going to help them, but it would be interesting. You're not wrong there. It would be very, very interesting to do that. So look, TCC, I mean, I can do this all over again, right? I can do this all over again. We'll just go fast. I'll make absolutely no trades. I mean, if you want me to do what I want, and not what the 49ers are going to do, I mean, I can do that in a heartbeat. But you got to put yourself in the 49ers shoes, right? In the 49ers shoes, there are certain things that they want to do. There's certain things that they need. And if they don't get those things, they aren't making that move. Right? So if we're doing what I want, JLE, at this spot right here, with the names that are available, this is very easy for me. I like Benito, personally. But I'm going Kenneth Walker at 61 here. Because of the dynamics. As a running back, I think he can catch out of the backfield as well. He was my favorite tape watch. He was my absolute favorite tape watch. That is what I would be doing. I would be going Ken Walker, JLE. You're not wrong. That is what I would do here. There is a case to be made for Dylan Parham as well. That spot. I love Dylan Parham. But if I'm doing this mock draft, if this is how the draft's playing out for me, as much as I like Benito, I love what Kenneth Walker can do. We got Sermon. See, Florida 2 Pistols, there's a problem though, right? So if I'm the 49ers, like the actual 49ers, so again, let's separate these. My mock draft was my mock draft, right? I mean, the mock draft 1.0, the one that I just did, to start the show off, okay? It's not something that necessarily I would do personally, so much as understanding what the Niners want to do and trying to make the decisions that San Francisco is going to make. This right here, for me, you say we got Sermon, I don't think Trey Sermon's a scheme fit. I don't think Trey Sermon fits into the offense of what the Niners want to do. I think they thought they could mold Trey Sermon, and it doesn't look like they're going to be able to. I don't know if he can be the type of running back that's going to work in a Kyle Shanahan system. I don't think he's there. I think he dances too much. I don't think he puts his foot in the ground and hits the hole like Elijah Mitchell does. And we're seeing all these clips of Trey Sermon coming out. right now, and he doesn't do any of these things. He doesn't put his foot in the ground. I mean, he's not working on putting his foot in the ground. He's working on his jump cuts, multiple jump cuts. That's tough. It's tough. But it's really hard for me not to go Kenneth Walker here because I love his film. I love his tape. I love the way he runs. Well, I mean, if you've watched the highlight film of Kenneth Walker, if you watch game film of Kenneth Walker, this is a guy who plays as close to Debo as Debo. He ain't Debo Samuel by any means, but he plays close. So like I'm sitting here going, how can I not take that? How can I not shore up the Trey Sermon pick? Because I think Kenneth Walker is a better scheme fit than Trey Sermon. However, and this is a big however, I love Dylan Parham. I absolutely love Dylan Parham. All right, and if I look at cornerbacks, I mean, I still have my boy Marcus Jones. You still got a guy in Zion McCollum, Cordell Flott, Cam Taylor-Britt, Tariq Woolen. I love all those things there at that spot. All of them. I still think I can address a lot of things. But why what, JLE? But why what? But why what? I'm wondering what you mean by that. I'm wondering what you mean by but why. Is Ken Walker related to Walker, Texas Ranger? Nope. He is not, unfortunately. I wish he was. But see, that's my thought process is let's shore up the Trey Sermon pick, right? That would be my like initial thought process is you go with something like that. Because now we can come back around here and Tariq Woolen just went off the board. Marcus Jones went a little bit earlier. Looking at best available here, you got Khalil Shakir sitting at this spot. You got Max Mitchell, who I absolutely love, who you might be able to get at 105. You might be able to get at 105. He might slip. He might fall. Still got Zion McCollum. Still got Cordell Flott. Still got Cam Taylor-Britt. Luz Benito was the pick. Well, that's what I mean. The Niners are going to take Benito. If that's what your options are, then the Niners are going Benito. They're not going Kenneth Walker. They're just not going to do that. What's the latest on Tart, says Jag? As of right now, he hasn't signed anywhere. He hasn't signed. Nowhere. Not anywhere. Has not signed. Hasn't done it. Probably not going to happen. Not until after the draft, anyway. He's trying to figure out where he can land and start, potentially. I think that's what he's thinking. So this is what I mean. Is running back there at pick 61, Khalil Shakir here at 80, or at 93, excuse me, because it just makes sense in terms of what he adds. He had some cornerbacks go off the board there. Still got some cornerbacks here available. Still got your tight end as well. I like the LSU corner. Yeah, you're not wrong there. I almost always go Shakir if he's available. Just like most of the time, I always go with what's his face? I almost always go with Benito. But if Ken Walker's there, it's like how do I say no to that? Can I say no to that? I don't know if I can. It's just hard. It's hard to do. It's really hard to address it. Look, at Cade Otton, you're not wrong. Cade Otton's really hard to pass up on here. But me personally, I'm sitting here looking at it going, hey, I need to address the cornerback room some way, shape, or form. Right? I got to go corner. Cade's down here a little bit more ways. What's the bigger need? Corner or that? Corner is. As much as I like Zion McCollum, and I know a lot of people do, in this situation, it's Cordell Flott. That's the pick. That's who you go with. No hard feelings. I don't hate you or anything. I don't dislike, the guy that I passed up on there, and Cade Otton. In fact, Cade Otton's like one of my favorite guys to watch. And you just sit here and hope and pray that Cade Otton is still available, and he's not because he went somewhere else. Someone else took him at that spot. Did someone get Marquise Bell already? Did that happen? Did someone reach on him early? Or is he still on the board? He's still on the board there at 154. Really hard not to take him here. Really hard not to take a Marquise Bell here. Absolutely love him. Absolutely love him at that spot. Wait, who did I take? I thought I took Flott. Did I not? Oh, snap. I took the wrong guy. TCC. I took David Clark. I took a linebacker instead of Flott. That's funny. So just imagine at 109 there that he's not there. He's gone. Flip those two. He's gone. He's off of the board. He's off the board. I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I did that just now. That's crazy. The accidental misclick on a linebacker who I'm not familiar with. You gotta love that, right? You gotta love that. That's horrible. That's horrible. We probably go Sterling Weatherford here. The reason I want a dynamic edge is because I want someone who puts pressure opposite of Bosa so he doesn't get doubled. I like that. I like that. Drafted against is Michael Durant. We're just going to pretend I did what I was supposed to at that spot. We're just going to pretend. We're going to pretend that 109 is not there. It just doesn't exist. It's not there. It's not there. And look, we'll go Weatherford here. I like between Weatherford and between Marquise Bell at that spot. I like both of them the same. I think I like Bell's potential upside more than Weatherford, but it is what it is. And now you can start to address and think about addressing wide receiver here at 172. Because there's a lot of good names here. There's a lot of good possibilities at 172. You still got 187 as well, where you can do different things at that spot. And in all honesty, with a running back take early, you don't have to necessarily address it. You don't have to go that route at all. And I'm still not convinced. Like I said, I'm not convinced that they're going to go after certain guys. So you go Reggie Roberson here, 172, which people will be like, oh, reach, you can get him later. But you're trying to see what's going to be available for you guys, for you down the road as well. You want to see what options that you have and what possibilities present itself. That's what you want to do. How do you rank Jimmy Ward among safeties? I think Jimmy Ward is a Pro Bowl caliber safety that gets a lot of flack. Doesn't make me get as much love as he probably should in terms of the things that he does and the things that he brings to the table. He is a guy that has consistently, time and time again, been kind of an anchor. He's a stabilizing force in the defense. And this is a guy, keep in mind, when we talk about Jimmy Ward is a guy that I was not high on when the Niners first brought him in. Was just not high on him. Really wasn't. Not a fan of what Jimmy Ward did. I thought he didn't translate well as a cornerback. I didn't know if he was a scheme fit for San Francisco. I didn't know if he was going to ever find a role. And the best part about Jimmy Ward is that despite all the negativity and the bad things about where he was selected and what he did for this team early on, he kept persevering, right? He kept grinding, kept improving, kept growing, and put himself into a position where when a new regime came in, they gave him an opportunity to make a change and make a shift. And he did. He shifted huge. Have you done any research on Samon Torre, wide receiver in Nebraska? Niners have met with him, a big, fast slot receiver. Samori Toure, I don't think it's Nebraska. So I saw you say this name the other night. And I don't think he's actually out of Nebraska. If I remember correctly. Mori Toure. I just want to make sure. Oh, it is University of Nebraska. You're right. It is. No, it's not the University. Oh, it is the University of Nebraska. So last year he was at the University of Nebraska. See, all of the film I've watched on him is at Montana. That's the school that I know him from, actually. That's the school that I know him from, Michael Durant. Yeah, he transferred. I forgot that he transferred to Nebraska. All the film that I've watched on him is actually at Montana. And I love this film at Montana. Absolutely love this film at Montana. Definitely a name to keep an eye on. Definitely a name to watch. He probably is going to be an undrafted free agent, though. There's a good chance. 300 yards in one game in Montana. Yeah, he lit it up. Lit it up at Montana. Truly did. So yeah, no. I know exactly who you're talking about. It's a solid guy, solid name. This spot here, 187, I go probably Ty Chandler. By the way, just so we're aware. Because you improved the running back room. 2 running backs in one draft. And you may be sitting there going, we did that last year. Yeah, you're right. We did do that last year. You could do it again. You 100% could do it again because you want to improve the room. You're trying to improve the room. That's what you're trying to do. Let's see. Is the tight end here? He is. But I could get him with the next pick. So you probably are going, you can go Wattenberg. Then you can get your tight end in Cole Turner. And then we can call it a day. I would have loved to see Montana. I personally would have loved to seen Montana. Like actually Joe Montana play. I would have loved that. That's what's funny. Like for me, I'm kind of that tweener. I truly am. I'm that tweener. Then for the memes, we'll do Ariaza. I'm a tweener when it comes to certain things with the 49ers. I didn't get to enjoy like all the traditional 49ers like lore, right? I didn't get to experience the Montana glory days. Born in 1990, being born in 1990, being a baby, being a child. I didn't get those things. I didn't get to experience that at all. So it's really hard to be able to truly appreciate like everything San Francisco's been because I didn't get to watch it all. I caught the end of essentially what was the Niners run of the 80s and the 90s. Missed my humor. Oh well. Where was it, Lou? Where was it? I missed it. I didn't pick up on it. I apologize, man. I apologize. Absolutely love your efforts in trying to figure out this draft. What position is the deepest? Edge, safety, O-line, or wide receiver? Good job. Thank you, Jack. I appreciate that. Thank you for the $5 super chat. I think the deepest position, it feels like edge. Feels like edge. There's a lot of really, really good talent all throughout this draft at the edge rushing position. There truly is. Truly is. Wide receiver is also very talented and very deep. But there's guys like Smith at UAB that I showed at the end of the actual mock draft 1.0. Guys like Smith who are 6'7", have all the skill sets and are very similar to a gentleman out of Tulane that we talked about last year. I mean, there's talent all over this draft in a lot of positions. And the Niners don't really have a position of need. I know people think guard is a position of need. I know people think a center is a position of need. I know people think wide receiver is a position of need. There are people who believe cornerback is a position of need, safety is a position of need. I know people feel that there are needs across the board for the Niners, but it doesn't really truly feel like the Niners have needs. They have wants. The things they want to do. The things they would like to do. I think the things they would like to do is improve the running back room, deepen and improve your tight end room, add more talented, diverse, dynamic weapons at the wide receiver position. I think they would like to get a talented edge rusher. I don't know if they'll necessarily do what I did in my actual mock draft 1.0 that started off this episode, which was trading up for Boye Mafe. I don't know if they'll do something like that, trade up into the late 30s, early 40s to accomplish that. But I would love them to do it. I think the Niners would like to do it. The problem is now is as fans and as content creators here, like on this channel, we're looking at the Toure sighting and trying to figure out if that means anything. Right? Does that signal that the Niners don't want edge? They don't care about it in this draft. They want proven commodities. Went to the Cleveland loss and Cowboy win with Montana in 81. Gotcha. Gotcha, Lou. Yeah, I missed that completely. My apologies. My mind is elsewhere. It's on this empty room. It's on the fact that I'm moving. It's on the fact. Oh. I don't know if I do that. I don't know if I bring out the memorabilia. I don't know. What do you think about Trey Lance? So, what are two pistols? I think you're new to the channel. You can correct me if I'm wrong. If you're new to the channel. So, first and foremost, was not wanting the Niners to draft Mac Jones. So, before I clarify my Trey Lance stance, don't think that I wanted Mac Jones, because I don't. Don't think that I'm a Jimmy Truther. Okay? I'm not a Jimmy Truther. The truth of Jimmy Garoppolo is he had a ceiling, or he had potential. There was the thought process that he could be the franchise quarterback. Things played out a very specific way in San Francisco. You lost the Super Bowl in 2019. He was injured in 2018. He got injured in 2020, didn't make it through the entire 2021 season. And so the Niners were caught between a rock and a hard place. You do nothing at the quarterback position, or you let whoever falls to you at 12, or you make sure you get a guy that you want in the 2020 draft because you knew what you had coming out in the 2021 draft. Okay? I understand the Niners' decision and why they did what they did. I even supported said decision of why they did what they did. That being said, Trey Lance was a guy that when we drafted him, I thought his upside and potential was sky high through the roof. And I also thought that Trey Lance might need 2 years to develop into becoming the starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. Which at the time when the pick was made, I didn't necessarily love it because of where they came up to get him and how much time I thought he was going to need to get ready, if that makes sense. Right? I thought he needed 2 years. Not because I don't think he can throw the football, not because I didn't think that he had extreme athleticism and a high IQ. I thought he had all of those things, but I thought he had mechanical flaws in an offense that's predicated on timing, getting the ball out on time into receivers' hands and letting them make plays with the ball in their hands. That was my thought process. Still technically is my thought process. Like, my thought process hasn't changed. But here's what I can tell you, right? I thought 2 years. Jimmy Garoppolo still under contract for 2 years. Reports coming out, the Niners are going to be, we've budgeted for a scenario where we can hold on to Jimmy for 2 years. So I'm sitting there going, okay, so this makes sense, right? You draft Trey, knowing that it could take 2 years for him to be ready, knowing that you have Jimmy Garoppolo, who is more than capable as a starting quarterback. He's gotten you to 2 NFC championship games. He's gotten you to a Super Bowl. Have you gotten over the hump? No. But you just need a guy who can get you there, and Jimmy can get you there. And you have a guy behind him in Trey who has significantly bigger ceiling, significantly greater potential than Jimmy Garoppolo could ever have. That's not just an athlete, but as a quarterback. Because, I don't think I've ever seen anybody throw the deep ball the way Trey has. Never. So I'm sitting there going, hey, this is it's a risk, but it's a calculated risk. It's a good risk. Something happens to Jimmy, you have a very talented, smart, young quarterback who can come in, and if he wows you and he does, what you think you can do, then Jimmy Garoppolo becomes expendable and you're not really in a bad spot. So last year, I was not expecting Trey to get any snaps at all, unless something happened to Jimmy. And that's when he got his snaps. When Jimmy got hurt, Jimmy wasn't available. That's when Trey was able to go in. And Trey had success. Trey had struggles, but Trey had success. I'm not the type of guy who's going to knock Trey for his struggles right now. I'm just not going to. I expect him to struggle. I expect him to make mistakes. He's 21 years old. He's got an elongated throwing motion. And up until recently, his footwork was not very clean. That has changed. The footwork has changed. The elongated throwing motion, not so much. Not so much. Elongated throwing motion is still there, and it may always be there. It may always be there. The elongated throwing motion may never go away. But the better he becomes at diagnosing and understanding defenses, understanding the scheme, where he's supposed to go with the football, knowing disguises, being able to pick things apart, letting motions reveal things for him in the offense, then the more the elongated release doesn't become a concern. It starts to go away. But that takes time. And a lot of people think that the time requires him to be on the football field and playing actual snaps. And while the playing will help, right, it also can kill confidence. And killing confidence can result in someone getting in their own headspace, making them incapable of recognizing the things they need to recognize because they're second guessing every decision they make because of the amount of mistakes that they've made. Which is why I think the 49ers used him brilliantly in this last season. Start him when you need to. Don't put more pressure on than you need to. And his first start against Arizona, they didn't ask him to throw the football a whole lot. They asked him to be the best version of himself. Power run game, take some shots deep, throw the ball outside the numbers, get the ball out quickly to his playmakers. I like those things. And we saw how comfortable he was in the offense from the first game and against Arizona to his last start against the Texans. How different the game plan looked. How much more comfortable he was running more of the offense and more of the playbook. And Kyle took a lot of flack. People kept saying, Kyle's, they're not, he's doing too much. He's not, letting Trey be free. And it's like, you don't want a rookie quarterback to be free. You don't let a rookie quarterback be free. There's restrictions. There's a leash. When you first come in the league, like everyone, there's a leash. Like, you don't have the ability to go do whatever it is that you want to do. There's parameters. Like, good coaches set parameters, things that they want to see, things they want you doing. And when you start doing those things, then the leash starts getting let out, right? You start giving them more freedom, more choices, more flexibility, because they've proven to you, hey, I can go out and do this thing at the level that you want. I can do it. And the more they do, the more you let the leash out, more freedom you give them. And at some point, you just get to a point where they're so far out and away, like away from you, that it's no longer about you needing to micromanage or coach them. You just snip the thing and let them go. They get to do the thing now because they've earned it, right? They've given you they've given you the flexibility and the comfortability to just let them go. Let them go do their own thing. They've proven it. They've earned it. Trey is getting to that point. Like they're letting it out slowly but surely and letting him have the ability to demonstrate and show, hey, I know what I'm doing. Hey, look at this. I can do these things really well. We already know this. And the better he gets at things, the further he gets away from Kyle. And the further he gets away from Kyle and out onto the football field, the sooner it is that Kyle Shanahan's going to be like, go be the best version of yourself because you're ready now. You've demonstrated that you have the basics down to a point where I don't have to worry about what decisions you're going to be making. You're going to make the right decisions when you're supposed to. And then you're going to do the special things when the opportunity presents itself. Lots of comments here. Let's see. Lots of comments. I think Trey will be fine once he develops some touch and relaxes in the pocket. The game will slow down in time. Passes are a little high because he is amped up. Yeah, I mean, he's amped up. He's amped up. Rookie, right? Rookies are going to do that in this league. Michael, you're not wrong. What we learned last year, unfortunately, was that running backs don't stay healthy, and our cornerback room got decimated. Brett injury really hurt us. Jag, you are not wrong there. It did. It really did. That's why you got to try and address the quarterback room, and that's why they paid Travarius Ward the money they paid. Depth on the D-line is stacked. We passing on D-line this draft. Interior D-line, I think so. Lax, Dad. I think so, Lax. Interior D-line, I would imagine they will. Edge rusher, they still may address it. They could address it early. They could address it late. If they're going to address it late, though, it needs to be really late, like back into the draft, someone they can try and sneak onto the practice squad. If they're going to address edge rusher, it feels like they have to do it early. Most teams in the NFL having success have mobile quarterbacks, said Florida 2 Pistols. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Except for the last 2 years, where the Super Bowl winners were Tom Brady and Matt Stafford. Other than that, though, you're right. Other than that, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But there's something to be said about pocket passers and being able to throw from the pocket with pressure in your face. Like, there's something to be said about that. It's a skill set that's underappreciated, undervalued in today's NFL. You want a quarterback who can try and bridge the gap between both those things. Extend plays with his feet, but not have to rely on his feet to make plays. Shouldn't have to rely on his feet to make passes. Should be able to use his feet to create opportunities to make plays downfield when plays break down and a defense schemes it up correctly. Let's see. Peyton Manning had the most ugly duck throws. Looks like a punt, but they were on the money and right where the receiver needed it. Yeah, well, that's partially because, right, Peyton had an understanding of what defenses were doing. He was, talk about highly intelligent. You couldn't disguise a defense that Peyton wasn't ready for. He had seen it all. And if you've seen it all, then it's really easy to know, when to release the ball to put it in the spot. Move a safety over with your eyes, give a pump fake. Maybe the route concept and scheme is going to hold a corner or a safety or a linebacker in a spot, and he's able to float the ball there. How rotten of a human being do you have to be to send Debo hate messages? Show support for Debo. SF Sports Realist. You have to be a rotten person, right? Like you would think you have to be a rotten person. Here's the problem. These people are not fans. If you're sending hate messages to Debo Samuel, you're not a 49er fan. Like truly deep down, like the San Francisco 49ers aren't a thing that you love. Like you like the 49ers. Like maybe the 49ers are the team you root for and support. But if you're sending hate messages to a player for a team that you like because you don't like how they're handling their contract negotiations, you're not really a fan of the team. You just like being a part of the conversation. You just like being a part of the social dynamic that is talking about football. Most people aren't 49ers fans. They're not 49ers fans. They don't love the football team. They like the football team. They like being a part of the conversation about the football team. They like being involved and interactive. Or they're just trolls. They're people who don't actually believe what they're saying. They're just saying it because they want to piss somebody off because they're unhappy with their own life and the things that they're doing. This is one of the, I mean, this is the reality about living in a free society, unfortunately, right? In a free society, people are allowed to do what they want to do. They're allowed to make choices. And some people, well, not some, let's say a good chunk of people, most people do the right thing. Most people do. Unfortunately, there are a few who won't. For whatever reason, right? Maybe they need attention. Maybe they're unhappy. Maybe they're just miserable people. Or they're just evil, right? There's one of those things. There's just one of those things. And unfortunately, you can't control them. I actually had this conversation with someone on a Facebook group who told me, this is, the people need to take this serious. Debo could leave over this. He could leave over this because of how fans are talking to him. And I'm sitting there going, no. Because this isn't a problem that's exclusive to San Francisco 49ers fans. This is a problem in the world in general. Every fan base of every sport, every society, everyone deals with this. You have people who say horrible things, who do horrible things in every walk and aspect of life. Every single one of them. So there's no escaping it. You can't escape it. What you can do, though, is hold those people's feet to the fire. Make them defend their beliefs. Because the minute you make them defend their beliefs, the more they expose themselves. And the more they expose themselves, the less people there are in the world who are going to want to put themselves in that position. I feel for Debo, though. I truly do. Because he's not asking for hate. He's just trying to get paid, and he deserves to get paid. He deserves it. He's worked his behind off his entire career up to this point. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that, we live in a world that people choose to say terrible things. They choose to try and cause other people harm, whether that's emotionally, whether that's physically, whatever that may be. It's awful. It's awful. It truly is. It's sad, man. It really is sad. Laxdad, 11 on 11 in the red zone is where Kyle's scheme struggles, is what we need to fit this offense. I don't disagree with you there, man. We need to improve red zone. Now, here's the good news. Start of last season, red zone looked pretty good. Beginning portion of last season. Red zone looked really good. So maybe that can keep going in the right direction. And maybe you address some wide receiver. Maybe you improve the tight end room. I'm just saying, maybe, TCC. Maybe we get a little bit better. There has never been a truer true that's ever been true. I appreciate that, Michael. Thank you. Thank you, man. Lou, 1 edge, 2 wide receiver, 3 interior O-line, 4 safety. Listen, I like that list, and that list ain't wrong. That list ain't wrong, Lou. It's all about love and faith. Stay faithful, said Toby. I agree, man. You got to stay faithful. Alex, a hypothetical question. How would Jeff Garcia do in our offense last year? Better or worse than Jimmy G? Man, I'm going to say better. Jeff Garcia never had this type of offense. Jeff Garcia didn't have this level of talent offensively. Like, completely around him at all times. Didn't feel like it. Yeah, there was T.O., but it was just T.O., right? Didn't have a guy that could do the things Debo did. Didn't have that kind of tight end, George Kittle. Didn't have a Brandon Ayuk out there. I think Garcia does better. I think Jeff Garcia is a very underappreciated 49ers quarterback. I think he gets a lot of flack playing on not as talented football teams. Spot on, Alex and Lou. Appreciate that, man. Toby said, when will the Niners have another 1,000-yard rusher? Hopefully this season. The running backs got to stay healthy, though, man. That's the problem, bro. They got to stay healthy. Kyle Shanahan running backs just haven't stayed healthy. They just haven't done it. Whether that's, the running backs that they've selected, whether it's just been the style of running, it just feels like they haven't. They haven't stayed healthy. That's tough. When you don't have running backs who can be available all the time, how are you supposed to have a 1,000-yard rusher? How are you supposed to do it? It also should let you know just how hard it is to hit on running backs, right? Like how hard it is to find guys who can withstand the beating and hold up. Look at Saquon Barkley. Look at Christian McCaffrey. All right? Just can't stay healthy. Can't do it. It is hard in the NFL today, the way athletes are now, how big they are, how strong they are, how fast they are, how hard they hit, how hard they move, how run fits work in today's NFL. It is tough, man. It is tough to be able to play a full season, 17 games. It's tough. It's not easy. Jimmy had 2 major injuries. I honestly don't know why Kyle started him. He actually made Jimmy's value worse, but at the same time, maybe they tell Jimmy he has to play to get rid of the injury moniker. I don't know if they're telling Jimmy that so much as Jimmy wanted to play through it. This is the thing, Michael. Like, athletes don't typically want to sit out injuries. Like, most athletes want to play through injuries. They want to keep going. Right? I mean, this is at every level. My senior year of high school, tore up my ankles. I mean, you talk about destroyed my ankles. You have 6 stabilizing ligaments on your ankles, 3 on each side, lateral and medial of your ankle. And I, on both ankles, in a span of 2 weeks, tore 50% on both ankles. 50%. And I was given a choice. And I mean, I'm talking about my right ankle, the first one that I did, where I had a rupture. I ruptured one of the tendons, and then the other ruptured medial tendon ruptured, and then 2 on the outside were completely torn. 2 on the outside were completely torn. Ankle was the size of, oh God, man. I mean, it was bigger than, it looked like a softball on the outside portion of my right ankle, like a fat softball. Couldn't walk. It was bad. It was really bad. Went to a doctor, told me about the tears, and they said, look, 2 options, man. Physical therapy, rehab. Maybe you're back in 4 to 6 weeks. It was a low ankle sprain, not a high. These are 4 to 6 weeks. You get to play out your season, and then you can get surgery in the offseason if you want. But if rehab goes well, you'll be fine. Choice. Or you can have surgery right now, and that's your season. Senior year in high school, 17 years old, aspirations of playing in college. Last chance to play basketball, potentially. Let's do rehab. And try and play. Did rehab for 2 weeks. And start of week 3 was back at practice. Was able to go half speed in practices. And then on game days was somehow able to muster through the pain and play an entire season. Sprained the other ankle, tore 3 ligaments. But when I did it, I had my ankle brace on. My right ankle I did not, so it swelled up right away. Left side I had the ankle brace on, kept the ankle brace on for 2 days. Iced everything with it on, kept the swelling down, was able to walk within a week. Was playing a week and a half later. This is what athletes want to do. Like, people, if you really love something, and I truly believe this, like, if you're in the NFL playing at a high level, you have to love what you do. You truly have to love what you do. And there's no part of me that believes Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't love football. If you love something, you'll put yourself through hell to have that thing, to be able to do that thing. I did that at 17 for something that wasn't paying me money, wasn't going to pay my bills. Like, hell, because of how much I loved the sport, how much I loved my teammates, how much I loved being on the floor, like, just how much I loved the game of basketball at that time. My sophomore year of high school, I broke my arm twice over summer. Once over summer, and then the same arm 2 weeks before the season started. Literally 2 weeks before season started. Devastating. Fracture. Same arm, same bone. Like 5 inches away from where both breaks were. Was told I was going to miss the season. Rehab. Checking in weekly. Got to play the last 3 games of my sophomore campaign. Was fully braced up and everything to protect it, but got to play the last few games of my sophomore campaign. If you really love something, you're gonna do it. You're gonna put yourself through hell. So I don't believe that the Niners made Jimmy play. I think Jimmy played. I think Jimmy wanted to play. I think Jimmy loved this team. I think he understood what this team was. I think he understood that his only chance to be the quarterback for the 49ers was for us to play and for us to win a Super Bowl. Jimmy does, or at least that's what the former teammate said. Alex, can we just get by with this current offensive line the way it is now? Said Power Fitness. Possibly Power Fitness. I think so. We saw Jalen Moore plug and play last year just fine. We saw Tom Compton come in and be one of the best run blocking tackles in football outside of Trent Williams, despite everyone thinking he never should have been on the roster and was hot garbage. Colt McKivitz stepped in week 18 against the Rams in a big game at SoFi Stadium, playing left tackle for Trent Williams and held up fine other than a handful of plays. He could slide in at left guard and be fine for a season. Aaron Banks could develop. O-line might be just fine the way it is. I know people don't want to hear that, but it might be. It might be. Let's see here. That's why Kyle mostly gets later around running backs disposable. Lou, you're not wrong there. Running backs are hard to keep healthy, and that's why you don't want to have to pay him if you don't have to. When he was on the Patriots, said Jimmy made a business decision. That's what former teammate said? Well, who was the former teammate? 'Cause I haven't read that. Do you believe Lance can have 2 1,000-yard receivers this season? Said Toby. Yeah, I think so. I think he can. I mean, shoot, we almost had 3 this past season, right? And if Trey's upside is what everyone believes it can be, then the passing should take a tick up, in theory. I'll see why not. I'll see why him and Debo can't do it, or Debo and Ayuk couldn't do it. Then again, I think you also could very easily see a Debo Kittle 1,000-yard combination, or an Ayuk Kittle 1,000-yard combination with Debo being close but having a bunch of rushing yards also. Like, any of those possibilities are possible. Mark says, plus the insecurity of someone taking your job. 100% that. And there is definitely that weighing on Jimmy Garoppolo. Right? There is someone right behind him ready to take it from him. If you crack the door open for Trey Lance, all he has to do is step through it. That's it. All he has to do is step through it, and that job is gone forever. Jimmy won't get it back. And it may be the last job he could get in the league. It could be the last starting job he ever has in this league. I understand that athletes give all they got to try and play the game. However, some players do make business decisions for themselves over the team, i.e. not rushing back to play from injury. Michael, yes, but there's also the other aspect of that, the other side of that, right? Not rushing back from injury can be a business decision if you're a young quarterback in this league who still has a lot of future and years ahead of him. And sometimes that's the team that will pump the brakes on that and say, hey, I don't think so. Let's slow down here. You got a long future ahead of you, kid. Right? There's moments in time, right? Jimmy being a young guy on the Patriots, for example, with Tom Brady out and suspended. Jimmy's early mid-20s, right? 23 to 25, somewhere in there. Different scenario than Jimmy at 29 having a history of injuries and the third overall pick sitting behind him with tons of upside. Different situations. Not playing through an injury 3 years or 4 years earlier when you weren't the number one quarterback and you have your entire future ahead of you. And the coach loves you and thinks you're the future franchise quarterback of the organization in New England is not the same as being 29 coming off of multiple injuries, having your replacement drafted behind you. Those aren't the same thing. Circumstances can also dictate decision-making, right? You can dictate decision-making. It just can happen, 100%. Kittle is a Hall of Famer. No linebacker can guard him. What's his contract looking like? His contract is currently, if I'm not mistaken, and I'll pull it up right here, so that way I'm Kittle contract over the cap. Let's take a look at it and see if we can get the actual numbers and details, so that way I don't misspeak, because I know there was a restructuring that happened as well. So currently the 2022 season, he's going to have a base salary of $7.8 million. He has a guaranteed salary of only $1.035. He had a $6 million prorated bonus. He's got a $6 million prorated bonus the next 3 seasons, 2022, 2023, 2024. So his cap hit this year is 7.6. His cap hit in 2023 is 18. Then 20 million in 2024, 17 million in 2025, and then it's 2 million in 2026, excuse me. But that year is voided on his contract. So 2026 is a void year. So the Niners are just paying him 2 million in dead money. 2 million in dead money. So they took some money, shifted it down the contract, so they pay him a little bit later, and then voided out a year in 2026 and paid him some money there. So the Niners could extend the contract when you start getting closer to 2025 if you wanted to, and use some of that $2 million to put into his contract, and it's not a void year anymore. But yeah, that's what his contract's looking like right now. 7 million, the 7.6 this year, 18, 20, 17, and then 2. And then 2. Keep in mind, 2026, he's 33 years old. 33 years old. So he's going to be getting the bulk of his money at age 31, which is a solid number, I may add. But age 31 is where he'll be getting a bulk of his money, $20 million a year. $20 million a year there. Jag said, people... Oh, wait, hold on. There it is. People forget that Jeff Garcia was an all-pro and had better stats than Brett Favre. At times he did. He didn't necessarily play on necessarily a great roster. I mean, there was good players, but it wasn't always the most talented offensive roster. Trey is an upgrade for the line, said David Hasselhoff. The ability to extend plays is definitely an upgrade, but there's also the flip side of that. Sometimes you extend plays because you hold on to the football too long, which can be a negative for an O-line that's been built on getting the ball out quickly. So there's a catch-22 there. It's a double-edged sword. It's a double-edged sword. It truly is. But that being said, the potential upside for Trey extending plays is huge. It's massive. And if he continues to develop it as a guy who can get rid of the ball quickly, then you're able to live with some of the lackluster performances on the O-line at times. And the team respected Jimmy G and believed in him, said Jack. And you're not wrong. They do. They do believe in him. And you don't believe in a guy if he's someone who doesn't put it all out there for this organization, this franchise, and the guys. Hit the like button, everyone, and subscribe if you haven't already. If you already haven't done that, subscribe and make sure you like the video as well. Said always believe in yourself, and he's not wrong. You should do that. Really appreciate it. I just don't want Trey as top 3 team rusher, said Lou. Okay, so top 3 team rusher. I get that. Martellus Bennett said that of Jimmy G. I also feel like Kyle and John drafted a quarterback after 2020 because Jimmy was cleared to play and stayed out. Meanwhile, Kittle came back and played out 2020. Michael, he may have been cleared, but the big but with this is what came out about his ankle in 2020. It was hanging by a thread. So those stabilizing ligaments, there was some severe damage. It was a grade 3 sprain, meaning there's tears, if there's multiple, if not some major tearing going on in the ankle. And if it's hanging by a thread, that makes it very hard. And Jimmy Garoppolo is a quarterback who relies on his lower half to throw the football. If he doesn't have his lower half, he can't throw. You just can't. Like, everything sails. I mean, everyone thinks this year was sailing. Don't go back and look at the 2020 film. Watch him make some throws in 2020. Watch the Dolphins game. Watch the first half of the Dolphins game. You think Jimmy Garoppolo was overthrowing sailing balls right now? Go back and watch 2020. He overthrew way more passes in 2020 because of how bad that lower half was. And the ankle was a big part of it. Big part. Jimmy just not the guy, and I think the team is tired of carrying Jimmy, said David Hasselhoff. Maybe. You made the pick for Trey Lance last year because he was going to be the best available option. All right, he was going to be the best available option for your organization, your franchise, with what you could get at 3. You did that knowing there was going to be some limitations with him. There was going to be some development, and they're doing that now. They're developing and trying to see where he's going to be. And hopefully, he's the guy we all think he can be. Because if he's that guy, the Niners are set. You're in a great position for the next 10 years or so, which is a good thing. Guaranteed money just depends on how they want to structure the contract. There's no limit to how much they can guarantee. They just need to fit under the cap every season. They need to fit under the cap, but we're going to see. We're going to see how they move money around and how they sign guys. Darian Terry said, Yo, what's up, Terry? What's up, Darian Terry? Jacoby Brissett stepped in injured and played for Jimmy when Jimmy didn't want to. I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that. Jimmy can't make that throw. That's why we have to move on from him. Would you trade Jimmy G to go up into the first round? I would love to trade Jimmy to go up in the first round. You're just not going to be able to. Not right now. Not with the injuries he has. With the him coming off the shoulder surgery and rehab and everything else like that, and having not been able, he can't throw yet. He's not at that point. You're not going to get a first round pick. Now, if you got another second, maybe you could take 2 seconds and move up. But I would prefer to just keep the seconds and take more players personally. I would rather do that. Why not keep Jimmy one more year, finish out the contract? NFC is wide open, plus our division. Rams not going to be the same. Cardinals got problems. Seahawks trash. Nobody but us and Bucks. There's still the Green Bay Packers, right? There's still that team out there. Darian, I just don't know. I don't know. The whole point of making the trade up for Trey last year was so that you have the quarterback on a rookie pay scale. You could free up $25 million and sign a bunch of players and build a team around a young quarterback who has huge upside and potential. But Trey has to develop, right? Trey has to be ready to be able to make that move. I don't know what the plan is right now. It feels like the plan is Trey Lance. I can tell you that. It feels like the plan is Trey Lance. Can plans change? 100%. Will they change? I don't know. Anyone that tells you they know doesn't really know. They're blowing smoke up your behind. There's no way they know. Nobody could possibly know what the plan is right now. There's no way. There is definitely a leaning and a feeling, but nothing is set in stone. Everything is written in pencil, folks. It can be erased. There is an eraser. Bomber T said, Happy Easter, Alex. Happy Easter to you, Bomber. Good to see you, my guy. Thanks for stopping by. Fair enough. Thanks for that info. Didn't know that. Still, I feel Kyle and John after 2020 no longer felt comfortable with Jimmy because of the injuries. If they didn't feel comfortable with him because of the injuries, then Trey would have played. I don't think they trusted he could stay healthy for a full season. They looked at this roster. They saw what they had, Michael, and they were like, this is a Super Bowl caliber team that could win and play in Super Bowls that needs a competent quarterback, and Jimmy is that quarterback. Jimmy is competent. He can run the offense. He can do what we need to do. He can do enough for us to get there. But if he's not on the field, we don't have that competent guy. That guy doesn't exist in this locker room right now. It's not Nick Mullins, and it's not CJ Beathard. We need to fix this. And so they fixed it. You traded up, you gave up future capital, and you made sure you got yourself a competent quarterback in Trey Lance right now, who's smart, high IQ, can go out there and execute the base game plan and things of that nature. That also had tremendous upside. That could be significantly better option than Jimmy Garoppolo ever could be. He also did that knowing that that quarterback didn't exist the next season either in this upcoming draft. Like, that guy's not there. If Trey Lance came out in this draft class, he's probably the number 1 overall pick. And the Niners got him last year at 3. Knowing that you weren't going to be close enough to make that pick again. The Niners gambled, and the gamble was smart. It was definitely a smart gamble. Now we find out how much it's going to pay off. All that's left to figure out is, how it was a gamble, but it was the gamble you needed to make, because Trey Lance won you a game last year that you needed to win in order to make the playoffs. Now the question is how much does this gamble pay off down the road in the future? He was never the same after tearing his ACL. He wouldn't plant on that lead leg the same. Well, look, I think there was an elusiveness to Jimmy that existed before the ACL injury. I think the ACL injury limited his elusivity and his ability to move around. He was never like a freak premium athlete, but he moved. He broke some plays. He extended plays. I mean, I remember tons of times Jimmy getting out of the pocket, especially the 2017 season before their 2018 season, and making plays downfield and extending plays with his feet. He did enough. He had enough wiggle and enough movement to be able to extend plays to a point where there could be success. But the ACL changed some things. It definitely did. Baker's mouth is making Jimmy more tradable, said HR. You might not be wrong there, my guy. And another $5 super chat from Jag. Oh, yeah. I love it, man. I have to go, but thanks for chatting with the faithful. Hope you and your family stay blessed. Jag, you as well, man. You as well. I hope everything's well with you. Who's going to be the starting corners that you want to see? I think it's going to be Charvarius Ward, and it's going to be Emmanuel Mosley. That's what you got right now. Those are your 2 options. Those are your best 2 options currently on the roster. And the Niners are either going to draft somebody, Marcus Jones, Cordell, Flott, Cam Taylor-Britt, Tariq Castro-Field. They're going to draft somebody that can play there on the slot on the interior. Maybe Tariq Woolen is the guy that you're thinking. They're going to draft somebody, or they're going to sign a Jason Verrett. Also could be a Chris Harris Jr. All of those options are possible. I think the Niners don't sign anybody, though, until after the draft. If they don't get the cornerback they want to play in the nickel in the draft, then they sign somebody. If they get the cornerback in the draft that they want the nickel spot, they don't sign anybody. Because you got your starters, you got Deommodore Lenoir sitting there. You have Ambry Thomas on the roster. And you got Darqueze Dennard and Dante Johnson competing. I think they feel really good about that room. Really good. Grant Goen been telling me for years that Nick Mullins is better, JK. I don't know who this Grant guy is, but if he really said that, big yikes. Big yikes. Big yikes. Ward and Mosley, we still need Jason Verrett. I think we could. I don't think it hurts. Jimmy G has intangibles they like, but not the high-end talent. Trey has both and now has a year under his belt, said Raymond and Emily Jones. That you are correct about. And Jimmy G has one elite trait, right? One. It's the quick release. It's the quick release. I mean, he gets rid of the ball faster than most people do. Most quarterbacks in the league do. He's got one elite trait. It's the quick release, and he does have intangibles. He's a great leader. This is a guy who understands the scheme, can get them in and out of the right stuff, and he doesn't have an ego. Some quarterbacks will see a run box and stick in the pass, despite having the numbers to run the football. Jimmy G will check into the run. Jimmy G will stay in the run, even if maybe you want him to pass. Vis-a-vis the playoffs, the run play to Deebo Samuel against the Packers, the run play to Deebo Samuel against the Cowboys. Those are situations that felt like pass situations that Jimmy stayed in run situations because he was going to have an option to check into a pass play, and he stayed in the run. So, I mean, I've heard people talk about Jimmy G has an ego. No one in this chat has said that, but I have seen that out there. Jimmy thinks he's more important than he is. Jimmy thinks he's better than he is. And it's like, well, first off, every starting quarterback in the league should feel like they're the best. Like they're the best in the world at what they do. All right? If they don't feel like they're the best in the world in what they do, why would you want them leading your football team? That's number one. Number two, Jimmy is pretty selfish in that category. He's not someone who's going to throw the ball because he wants the ball in his hands. He's going to make the best decision for the team. He has done that time and time again. Trey has to play to get better. That's the only way. Jimmy has to go so Trey can make mistakes. He is way better than Jimmy G. P. Murr, there's just one problem with this, right? There's just one problem with that line of thinking. Did Trey Lance not get better from the Arizona game to the Texans game? He got better and didn't play. You can get better without playing. My freshman year of high school, I did not start at point guard. I was the 6th, 7th man off the bench. My coach all season long begged me to start. Hey, you could start. I just need to know that you're comfortable going out there. We had this conversation tons of times. And I wasn't ready. Like I wasn't confident in what I could do. Like I knew I played well when I went in coming off the bench, but I wasn't confident in what I could do. Like I wasn't confident that I was the guy that should be leading us out on the floor every game. I didn't feel it. Like I didn't feel it. I knew the talent we had on the roster. I knew the guys we had. I knew the athletes we had. I wasn't the same level of athlete. I was a little bit smaller at that time. Hadn't filled into my body. Hadn't grown yet. Like I wasn't there. I came off the bench. I didn't start. I played limited minutes. Put in the work, grinded, got very familiar with the system, comfortable with my teammates. And by the time we came into my sophomore season, I was ready. It was my time. I knew it was my time. I told everybody it was my time. Told my coach it was my time. Walked into the locker room and established it was my team. Like, I'm ready. I'm ready now. Sometimes sitting is the best thing for somebody because it allows you to watch other things that are going on. It allows you to see what's happening. It allows you to get a feel for your teammates, the game, the system, how things play out, how fast some things feel, how slow some things feel. Like, time is sometimes your best friend. It can be. It really can. It was for me, and very well could be the case for Trey. Trey's 21 years old. He's coming from an FCS football school, not Division I, not necessarily top-end talent. He's coming in, he's watching, and things are fast. It's confusing. Teams are doing more complex schemes, disguising stuff. He could be sitting there going, shoot, I need time. Give me some time. Sometimes sitting gives you perspective. You're able to watch, learn, pick up on things, grow, better understanding of what you're supposed to be looking for, and you don't have to make any of the mistakes in order to learn. You get to watch other people make them and pick up on them. As one of my coaches used to say, reps, reps, reps. I love reps, 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 reps. I love reps. But when he talked about reps, he made it very clear. Reps come in all shapes and sizes. There's physical reps where you go out and do it, and there's mental reps. Physical, mental. Both have great value. You just have to know how to utilize them. But he's still better, says P. Moore. And look, I'm not going to argue with you that his upside is better. He has better skill sets. He has better top-end talent. 100%. 100%. I think Trey Lance can be a better quarterback than Jimmy Garoppolo. Now is the time to prove it. He's got to go prove it. And, people are going to be like, well, how can he prove he's not on the field? Well, he's going to get a chance to prove it. Trust me on that. He is going to have the chance to prove it. OTAs, training camp. Like, this is Trey's opportunity. This is his time. So you think we should start Jimmy again? No, David. I didn't say that. Didn't say that. You can laugh at it, but that's not what I'm saying. I think Trey Lance should be starting. I think you should. I think you made the move that you made. I think it's time. But anyone that claims Trey is way better right now at this moment without having seen him play, without having him actually have beaten out Jimmy Garoppolo yet, Trey can be better. Trey should be better. Trey needs to go prove it. Trey's been told he's the starter already. David, if that were true, Jimmy Garoppolo would be gone. If that were true, Jimmy Garoppolo would be gone. If Trey's the starter and he's ready, Jimmy wouldn't be here. They'd cut him. There'd be no reason to keep Jimmy Garoppolo. None. Trey is ready and Trey is the starter, then Jimmy doesn't need to be here. Jimmy is here because Trey has to earn the job. They weren't able to trade him when they wanted to trade him. Things didn't go the way that San Francisco planned them to go. And so now you're caught between a rock and a hard place. You don't necessarily know if you're going to be able to trade Jimmy for the value you want. You're not 100% sure that Trey is completely ready and a team wasn't willing to overpay you for Jimmy Garoppolo. So now the ball's in Trey Lance's court. Trey's got to earn it. And I think he can. He's got all the skill sets. He's got all the talent. He's had the time. He's working with his wide receivers. He's working on timing. He's working on tempo. He's working on rhythm. He's working on releases. He's working on getting the ball out quickly. All of those things going in his favor. On top of Jimmy Garoppolo not being healthy to start the season, meaning no one can take reps away from Trey Lance in training camp. He's going to have every opportunity to earn it, and I expect him to earn it. And as soon as he does earn it, this conversation is over. There's no more talking that needs to happen. Trey's team, Jimmy's out of here. Bye-bye, see you later. Don't have to worry about getting no capital. You're just going to move off it. It is what it is. Gosh, I hope so, Alex. 3 number ones. 2 number ones. I'm not going there. It's 2, because you were going to use one of those number ones. One of those number ones you used on Trey, right? You were going to use that number 1 no matter what, whether it was at 12 or whether it was at 3. You gave up 2 1s and a 3. You act like we weren't shopping Jimmy around like a used Honda. We probably were, David. You probably were. But if Trey was ready, right, then you're going to take the first option that comes your way. Right, David? If Trey was 100%, like, the guy that you just knew it already by the time you got to the end of the season, like, if someone had offered you a 4th and a 7th, you would have taken that, right? If Trey was ready? And that's what 49ers fans have been saying, right? Just take anything at this point. I've heard people say the crazy things. I'll take a hamburger and some fries for Jimmy Garoppolo, right? And you have Jimmy Garoppolo just give me a burger and a shake. If Trey was that dude right now, ready, then the front office knew it and the coaching staff knew it. Jimmy would just be gone, right? Did the Niners shop Jimmy Garoppolo? 100% they shopped Jimmy Garoppolo. There was never an option an offer on the table. There might not have been. So let me ask you something, David. I mean, right? You just said 2 things that should they should contradict themselves, and they do contradict themselves. If the 49ers were shopping Jimmy Garoppolo around, but never got an offer for a quarterback that's been to 2 NFC championship games in the last 3 years, were they really shopping him around? It's just something. It's food for thought. I'm not saying one thing or the other. I think this is Trey Lance's team. But I also think Trey Lance has to earn it. Is that wrong? Am I not allowed to say that? Am I not allowed to say that? That I think this is Trey Lance's team. Everything points to it being Trey Lance's team. Trey has had the time under his belt. He's putting in the work this offseason. Like, he's done all of the things necessary. He's doing all the things necessary for this to be his team. It feels like it's his team. And now he just has to go seize it. Right? The opportunity is going to present itself. Jimmy is not going to be available early in the season. He's not going to be available, or not early in the season, but early in training camp, early in OTAs. There is nothing that's going to prevent Trey Lance from getting reps. There's nothing that's going to prevent Trey Lance from taking snaps with the first team. All he has to do is seize the moment. That's it. And it's his. And I think he's going to do it. Personally believe he's going to do it. He will earn it. Oh, he will. P. Murray. That's exactly how I feel. He has to do it. He has to earn it, and then it's his. And if he does that, there's not going to be any problems. I'm a hip hop rapper. Go Rams. Whose house? Rams' house. Congratulations. Earn the job and teammates trust and respect. Just respect him like Jimmy G did. I don't think that's a respect thing. I think it's just a showing everybody, right, that he's capable sort of thing. Showing the coaching staff he's capable. Doesn't he have to pass a physical first before they can cut him, says Michael? They don't have to. They could cut him, but if they do that, then they're on the hook for potentially $8 million if he doesn't sign a contract worth that much money from another team. So it's a risk. It's a risk to do that. If Trey can throw a nice deep ball and can throw a hard 15-yard out, he is worth the risk over Jimmy, as Jimmy can't make those throws, says HR. Touche. Touche. Listen, we already know he can throw a great deep ball. We know that. And I also know he can throw extremely well outside the numbers. That throw to Brandon Ayuk against the Arizona Cardinals outside the numbers was a dime. God, that was such a great throw. Absolutely incredible throw. Absolutely incredible throw. We got stuck with Jimmy. Jimmy's not here because we want him. Wait, what? Jimmy's not here because we want him? David, come on, man. Come on, man. Trey Lance is not the guy. He not the guy. Okay, hip hop rapper. Thanks, Rams fan. I appreciate it. I think the plan was Jimmy finished contract. Trey fills in if Jimmy gets hurt. Then Trey takes over after Jimmy's 5th year. Fans and media fed up with Jimmy, forced their hand, and because of injury, hurt trade. Maybe NYC. It's possible. I mean, anything's possible at this point. We don't know. Teams watch the playoffs, said David Hasselhoff. The Niners made the playoffs. Niners made the playoffs. And beat Aaron Rodgers. And Jimmy Garoppolo was the quarterback who had basically the same QBR and passer rating as Aaron Rodgers in that game, despite not throwing a touchdown. Is Jimmy the best? No. Does Jimmy do enough? Yes. That's all Kyle Shanahan needs. They know that. John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan, everyone knows that. You don't need the greatest quarterback. You just need a quarterback, a competent quarterback. You just need a competent one. That's it. Which is why I believe the bar's not very high. Like everyone who's like David, who's getting all worked up right now about what I'm saying, right? Getting all worked up about me. I think you think I'm actually making a case for Jimmy. I'm actually making the case for Trey. I don't think you even realize it, right? If the bar is not set very high for the quarterback position, then how can Trey Lance not exceed the bar? Like, how can he not exceed it? He'd have to be able to exceed it. He'd have to. The bar is not stupidly high. And I know for some of you it's hard because some of you have heard me talk about Trey and heard me say things like I thought he needed 2 years. I mean, yeah, I think he needs 2 years. I think he needs 2 years to be that guy, like the guy everyone thinks. So, does that mean he can't take over this year? No, he can. 100%. I just don't think we'll see the best version of him until his 3rd year in the league, year 3. At the start of year 3 is when we can see potentially the best version of Trey Lance. Alex, you don't believe that, do you? That's not the reason to me. Refer me back, Lou, to what you're talking about, because I got sidetracked with some of these comments. Florida 2 Pistol said, how do we use McLeod? Is he a slot special teams return man? I think he's a little bit of everything. I think he'll do some return for us. He's going to play in the slot. They're going to use him kind of in a way they used Ayuk in that rookie campaign as well, using him some reverses, fly sweeps, things like that. He takes the top off the defense. He operates over the middle of the field well. He runs after the catch pretty well. He's going to have a dynamic role, a very dynamic role. He's going to be able to do a lot of different things. I'm late going all the way to the beginning, said Robert. Well, enjoy the mock draft, Robert, while you're doing that. Man, what NFL are you? I don't even know what that's supposed to mean. I'm a hip hop rapper. I can't even. Nope, don't know what you're trying to say. Trey can throw outside the numbers. Let's duck and go, said Michael. He 1,000% can. Michael, you ain't wrong there. He throws outside the numbers very well, including the deep ball. Deep ball is phenomenal. Matthew Smith with a nice trade Devo. It's not happening, dude. I know you want it as a Jets fan, Matt, but it's not happening, my guy. It's just not happening. So, Lou, yeah, let me know what you're referring to earlier when you said what you said. Trey's already in the lab in the early offseason. Yeah, he should be. There's a lot of guys that are in the lab. They're professional athletes, man. They're going to be in the lab all the time. If Trey wasn't in the lab doing stuff, you'd be wondering, what he's doing, what he's up to. These are professional athletes. They're in the lab all the time. They're getting ready. They're improving. What NFL fan are you? Hip hop rapper, are you? Are, are you serious? Is that a, is that a real question? Is that a real question? I'm not trying to be mean. Is this real? Do you? It says 49ers. It says cutback over there. There's red. There's some gold. There's an intro that says 49ers cutback. I hope that wasn't a real question, man. I hope that was a joke. I hope so. What kind of questions? What NFL are you? I'm pretty sure you're trying to say NFL fan. I don't know, man. I don't know. Can win with a competent quarterback. How has that worked out for us so far? Love it, Alex. Okay, so win with a competent quarterback. What I mean by competent quarterback, I thought you was a Rams fan. I bet you did. Lou, what I mean by competent quarterback is a guy who's not going to make mistakes. He's not going to shoot the team in the foot. Does Jimmy make mistakes? Yes, Jimmy has made mistakes. Have some of those mistakes prevented them from winning football games? Yes. But most of the time with Jimmy Garoppolo, his mistakes aren't backbreaking. They haven't cost the 49ers more wins than losses, right? Most of the time when Jimmy makes mistakes, he bounces back and the Niners win football games. And people can say, hey, it's despite Jimmy. It's in spite of Jimmy. The reality is it still happens, right? It still happens. That didn't happen with Nick Mullins. It didn't happen with CJ Beathard. It didn't happen with any other quarterback before Jimmy Garoppolo in the Kyle Shanahan era. So you just need a quarterback who is not going to cost you more wins than losses. That's all you need. Trey can do that. That's why it was a good selection when they made it. Trey is 100% possible to do that. Bomber, I won't say it, but maybe hit the nail on the head. Because every mock has hardly any QBs drafted in the first round, and then almost every year there are 2 or 3 taken in the top 15 picks. What top 30 player do you see falling that you would want on the Niners? David Ojabo. It's not even close, Michael. David Ojabo. 100% David Ojabo. Pick 61, David Ojabo. If he fell, dude, if he falls to 40, I'm considering trading up to get him. He won't be available this year, but good golly almighty, you're in a great spot in the future. Jimmy shot this team in the head. David, we made it to 2 NFC championship games. What are you talking about, man? What are you talking about? They'll pay Debo by trading camp, just like Warner and Kittle. SF Sports, you are 100% right. We've been saying this for a while. That's what's going to happen. Lance will directly account for more wins, better third down conversion running, infinitely more off-schedule opportunities, and a lot less pocket sacks because he's not a statue. You listen, a lot of the things you just said are right, but he doesn't hold on to the football a lot as well. So there are opportunities where he could take sacks because he's holding on to the football. And the reason he's holding on to the football is because at times he's struggling to find reads. That's what we saw this last season. He's struggling to find the open guys in space. The problem is Jimmy Garoppolo did that as well. And he did that in the NFC Championship game against the Rams. I remember people complaining about Kyle Shanahan not getting the ball into Deebo Samuel's hand, and then he watched the game back, and Deebo Samuel's wide open, and Jimmy Garoppolo just misses him. Right? So this is what I mean by you just need a competent quarterback. We almost won that football games. We almost won that football game against the Rams, the NFC Championship game. You almost won with Jimmy Garoppolo being injured and not playing a good football game. You're 3 points away from beating him. So again, see back to my earlier comment, right? Competent quarterback. You just need a guy who's going to make more positive plays than negative plays. In that football game, Jimmy made more negative plays. Niners aren't able to overcome some of the mistakes that you made. The whiskey tart drop, some of the PI calls, roughing calls, and things like that, the extended drives. You're not able to overcome those mistakes. Jimmy didn't play his best game. He made more mistakes than he made good plays. Trey just has to make more good plays than negative plays, but Trey has to show that he can be that quarterback consistently. We have a small sample size. He didn't really get a run and a chance this last season because they didn't think he was ready. And I agree with him. I didn't think he was going to be ready this upcoming season. That's okay. Or the past season, not this upcoming season, but the past season in 2021. 2022 is a different ballgame, different story. Trey has all the opportunities in the world. Oh, you meant what a... yeah, no, see, you and I both, Robert. You and I both there. I think this season should be at least NFC Championship game, Super Bowl. Trey's better than Jimmy, and DBs are younger and better. This roster is in win right now mode. I think you're right. I think you're right. Lance has much better mechanics than Fields was a great pick. I like the upside in Trey Lance. I like it. My concern was just, listen, like I said this all last year, my concern was I thought he needed 2 years to be the best version of himself. I didn't know if you needed 2 years out of Justin Fields for him to be the best version of himself. Because I didn't think you'd see the best version of Trey Lance for 2 seasons, I thought it was a reach at 3 at the time, but I understand why the Niners made the pick. I think of all the quarterbacks that you draft that came out in last year's draft, Trey Lance's ceiling is the highest. It's the highest. And sometimes that's what you're looking for, is the guy with the highest ceiling that you think who can mold. And the Niners are molding. And I'm all for molding. They have one of the best coaching staffs in the league. Really do. Defense is key. Defense is key on Raymond when he gets in the game. So Sage, if that's accurate, and I've seen a lot of positive things out of Raymond McLeod on film, then that's going to be a huge bonus for San Francisco because that means less keying on other players. We are so ace without Jimmy. I don't understand the Jimmy G hate, man. Renee, I don't get it either, man. I don't get it. I really don't. Really don't. Hip hop rapper and his friend, the hop Easter Bunny. That was good, Eric. That was good. No, but yeah, I don't understand the hate. I don't get it. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I guess I missed the 2 NFC Championship games in 3 years was a bad thing. I guess it's bad. I understand wanting to improve. Like you want the quarterback play to improve. Like I want that too. Like quarterback play improves, right? A lot easier to win Super Bowls. A lot easier to win big football games. Like I get that. I understand it. But you can be unhappy with something and also appreciate something at the same time. Like it doesn't have to. You can have it. It doesn't have to be one or the other. It can be both ways, right? You can want the quarterback room to improve and also enjoy what the Niners have done and appreciate what Jimmy helped bring back to this organization after, the meat sweats and Chip Kelly. Like, don't forget about the meat sweats and Chip Kelly. 49ers fans. We don't want to go back to that. I know I don't want to go back to that. Did you look at the film for Braxton Jones, the tackle? Yeah, I started watching. I actually did start watching. So far, so good. I got more to watch. I've watched highlights and I've watched two halves of 2 separate games so far, Michael. So I got a few more. I got like probably 2 or 3 more full games that I want to watch of Mr. Braxton Jones. But so far, so good. So far, so good, man. If Devo doesn't get paid, he will request a trade because he needs to be paid before the season, coming off a historic season. Matthew Smith, maybe. Also, just franchise tag him, and then he's guaranteed, top wide receiver money 2 years in a row. But the problem is Jimmy doesn't trust Jimmy. You might not be wrong, though. You might not be wrong. You might not be wrong, man. You might not. Oh, man. I'm a hip-hop rapper should go watch. Oh, wait, there is none. That's good. That's good, Bomber. That is good. Great QBs can play under pressure, especially in a 2-minute drill. You're right, Florida. And this is one of the things that's really hard for a lot of people to wrap their head around because a lot of people say Jimmy holds under pressure, but Jimmy has also played really well in 2-minute situations in games. Maybe it's not as consistent as some people would like, but I mean, he has won games in the last 10 minutes on game-winning drives. Like, he has done that. Oh my! Well, congratulations! I'm a hip hop rapper. You're in timeout. Look at that. Act like a kid. Get put in timeout like a kid. Act like a kid. Get put in timeout like a kid. My goodness gracious, my guy. Be better. Be better. Try and be better, my guy. That was really bad. Really bad. But hey, anyway, we're gonna act like children here. That's great. Oh, gotta love it when other fans come in here and try to hijack things. My opinion is Trey is more boom or bust than any player drafted last season. If he's bad, then he's bad and no coming back. Zach Wilson had the most upside of 2021 quarterbacks easily. I think Zach Wilson and Trey Lance had the biggest upside. Those two definitely had the biggest upsides. Off-platform throws, slinging that ball, sling the pigskin 1/4 mile. I mean, they could do all of those things. I'm seeing Bob Martine say Zach Wilson is trash. He won't do crap on the Jets. I feel bad, honestly, for I feel bad and punch you in the eye. If I accidentally, it looks like I accidentally put you in timeout, my guy. My apologies. That wasn't supposed to happen. So if that happened, that was a glitch. So punch you in the eye. You're not supposed to be in timeout. That's on me. That's a misclick. I was trying to get the guy underneath you. I was trying to get the gentleman underneath you who made some disparaging comments, and for whatever reason, it clicked down to you. My bad, my guy. My apologies. Anyway, Zach Wilson. I like Zach Wilson. I'm not gonna hate on Zach Wilson. The Rams were stacked, and we beat them all year. The last few years, 49ers need to close games better. There are some games that they definitely can close games better in. There are definitely games. And look, the quarterback play could definitely help in that category. And that's why you made the Trey Lance pick. We'll see what that ends up meaning for San Francisco. Hopefully positive things. That's what I want. He's won games on last-second drives because he lets other teams hang around, says David. Fair. Games are close, right? Games are closer than we don't like them to be at times. That's for sure. That was throughout this past season. It wasn't. Some of it was Jimmy, and some of it was the team itself. There was a lack of execution, but the team top to bottom. 2021 was a very interesting season. It was very much a roller coaster, and people can feel any way they want about Jimmy, the way he played, but I care about one thing, and that's how the team rallied, how the team came together, and how the team finished. And the finish was nice. After the season we had, no one expected this team to be in the NFC Championship game, except for Ant, myself. We thought that this team could still get there. A lot of the cutback crew did as well. But yeah, that's because you're here, right? People who are coming here for a reason. They're coming here for a reason because we're pretty level-headed. We're pretty level-headed with how we talk about this team. We try not to get overly negative. We try not to be like everything's fine all the time. Even when things were going bad last year and we said, hey, this team can still turn it around. Hey, this team is a few plays away from fixing it. We said, though, that, they were getting to a point where you didn't have a lot of time left. If you didn't fix some of these mistakes and you didn't do some things to turn games around and flip the outcome, that you were going to be in a really bad spot. And there was going to be no salvaging the season. It was going to be a lost season, and it was time to turn to Trey Lance. We were saying that consistently all throughout last season. And even after the Colts loss, people were like, it's time. Get Jimmy out, put Trey in, season's over. We're sitting there going, they could still win 10 games and make the playoffs. And if they make the playoffs, winning 10 games the way the season started, they could make a run. This is a Super Bowl caliber team. This is a team that has all the potential in the world. It's just about realizing the potential. Last year, early, they didn't realize it. They realized it late and came up short from being the team we all thought they could be, which was the Super Bowl team. This year, things can change. Quarterback could change. And a quarterback change could be a huge uptick for the San Francisco 49ers. Bolster O-line in the draft and protect your young QB asset. What do you say? Says Sage Roberts. I say that I like the idea. I like it. I don't know if you're going to be able to get a guy on the O-line who can come in and start over the guys you already have. It's tough. It's tough. There's some really good names. I love Dylan Parham. Right? I absolutely love the things he does. I like Kellen Dyche. I like Donovan West. I like Cole Strange. There's tons of guys that I like. Are they going to be better options than the guys we already currently have? Colton McKivitz has started games and played well. Justin Skill has started games and played well. Daniel Brunskill is a bona fide starting right guard in this league. Aaron Banks, who drafted in the second round last year. Jalen Moore started a game this year and you won. Or, I don't think you won, but I think he did play well. I remember said game. It's hard, man. It's hard. I think a lot of the guys who could start on the O-line are going early in this draft. They're going in the first round. So it's hard. I mean, I understand 100% what you're saying, Sage. I would love to be able to solidify it, have no questions. But the Niners go into every single season with a question somewhere. There's always a question somewhere. And a lot of teams go into the season with questions somewhere. A lot of teams do. Tons of teams do. Sometimes multiple questions at multiple spots. It feels like this year O-line might be one of those positions where fans have questions and the 49ers feel they already have the answers. Oh, my goodness. The rookie QBs who played last season, top two were McCorkle and Mills, said Lou. Yeah, those were the top two. And Mills played on a really bad football team, and, you know, he had highs and lows. He had highs and lows. But you're not wrong. He did play more consistent than the rest of them. McCorkle was the most pro-ready quarterback, so he was going to be, and he went to the best situation of all the rookies other than Trey Lance. Right? Like, McCorkle went to the best place other than Trey Lance. So he was going to have the easiest transitions. He really was. All rookie QBs that start in the AFC East will have trash numbers year one because Bill Belichick eats them for dinner. Look at Josh Allen's year one numbers. You're not wrong there, Michael. He does. David, he wants all defense. Get Trey some help. Who's this? You talking about me? Who are you talking about there, David? All defense. Let me know. Let me know who you're talking about all defense. Russell Wilson is 5'11". Height necessarily determine how good a quarterback is going to be. It's true. Drew Brees was also short. Height's not always worth it. That's not always there. Sage is saying trade up, it's worth it. I don't know if you can trade up into the first round, though, without giving up a king's ransom. You're talking about 40 picks. You got to 30 to 40 picks you have to make up in order to get a guy that's worth his salt. You may be giving up a lot of capital. A lot of capital. The other first round pick you have, multiple seconds and some thirds. That's a lot, dude. I don't know, Sage. I don't know. I'm not there with you. I'm willing to trade up, 15, 20 spots. I don't know if I can trade up 30. I don't know if he can trade up 30. Any left guard other than Banks is saying MFN Philpott. Well, what about Colton McKivitz? Because Horst thinks Colton McKivitz is an option. Where have they upgraded on offense? Any help for Trey? Where have they upgraded on offense? Well, let's see. You have George Kittle still. You have Deebo Samuel still. You have Brandon Ayuk still. You signed Raymond McLeod, so you added another dynamic weapon. You're going to get back Jawan Jennings. All right, that's a positive. That's a plus. You still have Elijah Mitchell. You have tons of draft pick potentiality there. Is the downgrade Lincoln Tomlinson, David? Is that the downgrade? Is that what you're thinking the downgrade is? Because the Niners weren't going to pay a left guard $13 million. You got draft picks. That's where the upgrades are coming. They're coming with draft picks. And Niners are going to draft probably 2 wide receivers and an interior offensive lineman who has flexibility to play outside or potentially at center. That's what you're going to do. That's what it feels like anyway. That's what it feels like, TCC. That's what it feels like. Let's see here. Oh my goodness gracious, there's so many. Question from NYCE. Do you think the Packers feel, or Dallas feels, they have decent quarterbacks, have pretty decent quarterbacks and loss? Look what happened to Wilson. Football is a team sport. You need everyone to do their job, says NYCE. I think teams like the Packers and the Cowboys have built their identity and their teams around their quarterback play, them being able to do work and to have holes other places. Right? They feel like their quarterback can overcome those holes. That's what it feels like. There's ways to build out rosters. Every team attacks this differently, right? I mean, Kansas City is starting to get into this boat now. Them trading Tyreek Hill because they weren't going to be able to pay him the contract and the money that he wanted was a team having a hole, like creating a hole at the wide receiver position. Create a hole at the wide receiver position because you have a quarterback that's going to be making, hundreds of millions of dollars. Almost. He's making half a billion. Making $500 million over the lifetime of his deal. You can't pay everybody. Just can't do it. It's not there. It's not possible. So teams are going to have holes places. And it does feel like the Cowboys and the Packers are fine with their holes because they trust their quarterbacks. What about Cam Taylor-Britt? DB out of Nebraska said Kelvin Brown. Love him. Love Cam Taylor-Britt. Love him. If the Niners can't necessarily land the corner that they want early, Cam Taylor-Britt is a guy that can fall a little bit later, closer to 105, that they maybe have to move up a little bit to get, but I like that option there. Don't hate that option. I still like Tariq Castro Fields, too, out of Penn State, and that's going to be a little bit later, too. That's in the 120s, 130s. Draft Benito, Alec Pierce, then Marcus Jones. HR, if that's what it ends up being on draft day, my guy, yeah, right there, the mug you have, on draft day at Back Alley Brew, day 2. So anyone who doesn't know, Back Alley Brew, Galt, California, we're having a draft party, April 29th, 4 to 8 p.m. If it's Benito, Pierce, and Marcus Jones, I will be chugging I'll be chugging one on stream. Chugging one on stream for the TCC. Celebrate. I'll be excited, man. I'll be excited. That would be great. It would be absolutely great. Ray Ray is a third option at best, so you couldn't name upgrade draft picks. David, I mean, the reality is, right, the Niners didn't upgrade the offense. They upgraded defensively. They upgraded what many people thought was the biggest hole, which was cornerback. Did they need to upgrade the offense? I mean, did you hear the names I just listed off? Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, Jawan Jennings, Elijah Mitchell. Do you need to upgrade? Or do you just need to add depth? You need to add more weapons. I don't think you need to upgrade the offense. You need to just add more weapons. You need to add more pieces. You can do that in the draft. You can also do that post-free agency. Philip Lindsay's still available. Will Fuller is still available. A lot of positive things there. And of course, TCC, of course. Stream's cutting out there a little bit. Let me know. Hopefully the audio is fine. Hopefully the audio is fine, and hopefully it smooths out here pretty quickly. I'm hoping that's the case. Looks like it's fine. Let's see. Alex, I think the team needs a wide receiver and either draft a running back or Sermon to have an epiphany. Sermon to have an epiphany. I don't know what's going to happen with Trey Sermon, man. I'm worried. That's probably the one guy that the Niners have drafted that I'm actually worried about. I'm not worried about Aaron Banks right now. Not yet, anyway. I'm not worried necessarily about Jalen Moore. I'm not worried about Talanoa Hufanga. That's the one. That's the one I'm worried about is Trey Sermon. Trey Sermon is the one that I have the biggest concerns with. I hope I'm wrong though, Lou. I hope I'm wrong. I hope he clicks, man. I hope he gets together. If it gets together, then the Niners are in business. They're in great position. Other than Trent, I'm not trusting that line, said David. Fair. Trent Williams is also the greatest tackle in football. So, I mean, you don't trust Alex Mack, really? That one's shocking, David. Hasselhoff, Hoffman, Knight Rider. You don't trust Alex Mack? Seriously? I trust Alex Mack. I don't trust you in anything else other than Knight Rider. How about that? Interior O-line, Sailor out of UGA. Taylor Britt are my favorite second and third rounders. I don't think not Taylor Britt. I don't think Sailor fits in the scheme. Georgia O-linemen don't usually translate to zone schemes. At least a Kyle Shanahan zone scheme. That would feel like an Aaron Banks pick. And I don't know if you were around last year, Phil, but we were not very happy on draft day when they selected Aaron Banks. It didn't make a lot of sense. It was not really a scheme fit for San Francisco. Our reaction was not that of excitement. I would not be excited about that. Lothus says, 49ers Cutback, what round do you think Christian Watson is going in? I will be shocked if he makes it out of the first. In all honesty, I'll be shocked. I think people see the speed. I think people see the dynamics in which he can do things with the ball in his hand. I honestly think that if he's not gone by 29, then the Chiefs are taking him at 30. That's what I think. That's what I think. I just don't think he makes it past 30. I don't think the Chiefs can pass up on something like that. It doesn't make a lot of sense for them to do that. Jawan Jennings is their third wide receiver, not Ray. Possibly. Sermon was drafted to play with Trey. The problem is, though, David, is that Sermon is not a one cut and go back. And they want a one cut and go back. That's why Elijah Mitchell was the running back last year and Trey Sermon was not even active in the playoffs. You're telling me Trey Sermon couldn't beat out Jeff Wilson Jr. coming off of a meniscus, not being the Jeff Wilson Jr. we all knew and loved from the previous few seasons? He couldn't beat that guy out? Not a good look. Not a good look. Aaron Banks at least went from guy who wasn't on the active roster to guy who was on the active roster come playoffs. Trey Sermon went from guy that Kyle Shanahan was doing everything possible to not touch the football to guy who wasn't on the roster come playoffs. He has a lot more to prove than a guy like Banks does. Banks is definitely trending in the right direction. Sermon was not trending in the right direction by the end of the season. But there's a lot of time to change that. What I can tell you is that everything Trey Sermon has been posting on socials does not make me feel good about where Trey Sermon's development is. Not at all. Not at all. As a Cubs fan, I can sympathize with Jets fans. Let's take it easy on these poor, unfortunate souls. Well, I mean, dude, there's a lot of teams in the NFL that it's just rough. Jets are one of them. Jacksonville's been pretty rough. Dude, Vikings fans have it tough, man. I feel bad for Vikings fans. Really do. Draft 5 on linemen and you'll get at least 2 starters plus a power back to Sage. I'm not there with you. I can't do it. Nobody will ever be able to explain Banks to me. I can't explain Banks to you, Phil. We had no clue what the heck happened. Could not figure it out. It felt like the Niners just missed on their guys. Like they traded back, tried to trade up, didn't get the guy they wanted, and were just kind of like caught between a rock and a hard place and just settled. They settled. That's what it felt like. Tough, man. Tough situation. Trey's new workout video. He is cutting, then bursting, then cutting again. It looks impressive. It does, Jimmo. There's just one problem. He's not cutting and getting vertical. It's jump cuts. He's doing jump cuts. He's jumping laterally. He's not getting vertical. And 49ers running backs need to get vertical in this run scheme, in this the way they run the football. It's tough, man. It's tough. Sermon better learn to pass Fox, says Raven and Emily Jones. I don't know if that'll save him, man. He can't catch the football either. Now, I know he's been working on it, but that's been my biggest hiccup and I guess bugaboo, if you want to call it that, with Sermon, is he wasn't really a receiving option. If he could catch the football better, he'd be fine as a third down guy. He'd be fine. But I haven't seen it consistently. Draft a center to play him at guard year 1 and replace Mack year 2. HR, this is definitely an option. However, the Niners have not typically done this with centers. They don't draft young centers. They sign veteran centers. That's what they do. So I don't know. Man Raj, sup, coach? What's up, Man Raj? How you been, man? Good to see you, man. Good to see you in chat. Good to hear from you. Hope everything's well. My bottom line is I trust Kyle, guys. Who else would you rather have? There ain't many more. There are not very many other options, Lou. You ain't wrong. I feel very good about the situation this franchise is in at the moment because of guys like Kyle, because of guys like John, and I'm going to tip my hat and give credit to Jed York because Jed York has come a long way. He has come a long way. I still think he has a little ways to go because I would prefer the Niners go all in and pay free agents, right? Pay more top dollar to some free agents and do everything you can to build this roster and go all in, right? Get the mercenaries, bring the mercenaries in. Let's go all in and win a Super Bowl. I still think he's got a little way to go to get there, but he has come a long way from the Jim Harbaugh debacle and siding with Balky and going with the meat sweats. Dude, there are some franchises. Now think about it. I mean, think about the guys. Look at the Browns. Look at the Browns. Look at the Jets up until the Saleh hire, which was solid. Look at some of the things. Look at some of the things some of these other organizations have done with coaches. They make bonehead hire after bonehead hire after bonehead hire. Just bonehead hires. At least York went Harbaugh solid. Trusted the wrong guy in Balky. Went meat sweats and Chip Kelly. And immediately course corrected. It only took him 2 years of screw ups to get it right. Some organizations never get it right. Once they start down the path of screw ups, there is no fixing it. They just can't ever fix it. They can't get out of their own way. He adapted. He changed. Power Fitness, I'd rather have Alex and Ant over Kyle. Whoa there, Power Fitness. Listen, I appreciate that amount of love. That is some nice love right there. I don't want that. I don't want that. Don't put me in that boat, dude. Don't put me in that boat. Nope, I'm not there. Raheem Mostert speed had everyone jaded by the zone scheme. We do need more speed, but we got what we got. Hey, and we still could get some, Jimmo. We still could get some speed. There are some guys in this draft you can go get. This regime isn't going anywhere, said Bomber. You ain't wrong. Who do you think is the most likely starter week 1? Hufanga or Banks? That right there, Michael. That is a question to ask. I would say it's Banks. But that right there is a question and a half. That's a tough one. Between those two, who's most likely to start week 1, Hufanga or Banks? That is $1 million question right there. And there is going to be a lot of fun training camp battles. Ant and I are stoked to be going to training camp this year. We're excited, man. We are excited about training camp because there's going to be so many good things to watch. Oh, Man, so many good things. Trent Baalke, the worst GM in Niner history. Trent Baalke may end up being the worst GM in the history of the NFL, Lola. He may end up... Christian Kirk's contract is obscenely stupid. It's obscenely stupid. I just still want to know why the Jags still have their GM. I have no idea, Matthew. I don't know. I'm just not sure. Paying a backup $27 million is definitely a Cleveland Browns move. David Hasselhoff. All right, man. You're gonna be the happiest guy in the world, David. You're gonna be the happiest guy in the world when Jimmy Garoppolo's gone. I just know it. You're gonna come in here with confetti, spraying stuff all over the place. I'll tell you what, David. The day the Niners trade Jimmy Garoppolo or move off of him, you better be coming in here with super chats galore. I want to see you celebrating, my guy. I want to see you celebrating in here because you can't wait for it. And I understand it. I understand wanting to move off of it, my guy. I get it. Our roster is stacked, and we have the best coach in the NFL. We just need above average dynamic quarterback, and we do have that. HR. I'm just kidding. It's Trey Lance. Anyone who thought I was actually going to go there with the Jimmy, I'm not doing it. The award will be great. He's a cover corner on a team with pass rush, so he'll only need to cover for 3 seconds. Yeah, that's true. That's true. He's a dog, too, man. That dude is a dog. Hey, Jim Tolasino was at least a great D-line coach. Michael, no. Wrong. I disagree. I can't stand the meat sweats. Captain Bull Rush. Can't stand him. Can't stand him. I think he was bailed out by top-end talent. Now, let me clarify. Can't stand. I think he was a one-trick pony. I think he got bailed out by hand talent. That being said, he's been coaching the league for a long time. He has gotten numerous jobs, so he's obviously doing something right. I'm just glad he's not doing it in San Francisco anymore. I'd much rather have Chris Kasarik. I will try and make a training camp. Oh, Jimbo, that's great, man. Hopefully we'll see you there then. Hopefully we'll see you there. That'll be a lot of fun. How did your draft haul go, Alex? So it was actually pretty good. Let me try and okay, that's weird. Let me pull up the results here. Pull up the results, my guy. So Boye Mafe at 38. Got Khalil Shakir at 78. Cordell Flott, at 112. Pierre Strong Jr. at 134. Alec Lindstrom at 172. Reggie Roberson at 187. Cole Turner at 220. And then Mr. Irrelevant was quarterback all-around dynamic talent D'Eriq King. So you tell me. Ant thought I got fleeced. It was sad. He was roasting me in the chat while it was happening. It was frustrating. Trent Baalke had 5 winning seasons and a Super Bowl appearance. Trent wasn't that bad for us, except for the talent that was left behind. Here's the problem: Trent Baalke hit on some guys, some talent, but the team that that Harbaugh inherited, right? The team that Harbaugh got was not Trent Baalke's team. Just saying. It wasn't Trent Baalke's team. Trent Baalke ran this team into the ground in terms of the amount of talent they had. Sage saying, I don't trust O-line. I don't blame you, man. I get it. Trey is going to be dynamic, running for his life. He doesn't trust it. I get it. I get it. I understand not trusting the O-line. There's a lot of question marks. It's definitely a question. But I think it's a question the 49ers think they have answers for. So we're going to see. We are cursed. No Marcus Jones. LOL. He went before. I was actually going to trade back up into the 90s to get him, Frank. I was going to do it. I was going to take three. I was going to draft 3 guys in the top 100. And then he went at like 84 or something. It was crazy. I was so shocked by it. I couldn't believe it. Can't believe it. I want the 49ers to draft Nick Cross at 61, said Lotha. I would prefer Cross a little bit later, like 90, 105, somewhere in there, 93, 105. But I like Nick Cross. I understand what you see there, Lotha. It's good. He's fast, wicked fast, solid coming up in space in the box. Some question cover concerns, right? I think he's more comparable to Talanoa Hufanga than anyone else on the roster. The difference is he's got the speed that Talanoa Hufanga doesn't have. So if he makes mistakes, he can make it up. He's got makeup speed. And Marcus Jones is a good fit for us. He can play any position. Yeah. But you're mostly going to have him play the slot, which is fantastic because I think he's great there. Look, this is going to be fun. This draft process is going to be great. Everything we got coming up is going to be fantastic as well. And I might as well plug it now. TCC, tomorrow night's War Room, is going to be featuring Mike from Nothing But Niners. Mike from Nothing But Niners is going to be on with us to do 49ers War Room. So that's what you're going to get tomorrow night, 4:30 p.m. Pacific time. My apologies. 4:30 p.m. Pacific time. You get Ant, myself, and Mike and from Nothing But Niners doing a nice 49ers War Room. So you get that tomorrow at 5 p.m. Tuesday, we got a video coming out for you at 5 p.m. that you're not going to want to miss. No live stream Tuesday. We have a video coming out about, again, draft positions. And then Wednesday, we got another 49ers War Room with the guests that will be announced. They're already lined up, but we're going to announce them probably on Aftermath tomorrow night. So 49ers War Room Aftermath tomorrow night. And then Tuesday, it'll go live for everybody else. So if you want to get a sneak peek at all that, make sure you become a member here on YouTube or support us over on Patreon. You do either one of those, and you will get access to 49ers Aftermath tomorrow night, as well as finding out who will be on 49ers War Room on Wednesday, which is going to be absolutely fun. It's going to be a blast. You're not going to want to miss that at all. Sage saying this is the first chat I've ever done. Happy you hopped in, man. Happy you hopped in. This is a lot of fun, Sage. Glad to have you being a part of this. Look, these conversations are always fun. These cutback chats are a little different than what we typically do here on the channel because it's more free. It's more loose. It's free form. We can kind of talk about whatever we want to talk about. And, just bounce ideas off of each other. Talk about what you want to talk about. Alex, what do you want at 61 or if we trade up? Edge rusher or wide receiver. It's one of the two. There's tons of wide receiver talent that I would love to have, whether that's Christian Watson, whether that's Alec Pierce. Tons of wide receiver talent I'd want to have there at 61, and tons of edge rushing talent. That's one of those two spots. Now, if a corner starts falling, like a Kyler Gordon, who typically the Niners wouldn't have an option to go get, I would love that. I wouldn't hate that at all. And if an offensive lineman starts falling, towards the back end of the 30s, late 30s, that should have gone in the first round. I wouldn't hate that either. I think both of those things are realistic options there. I think those are the deepest positions. I think that's where you can get the most bang for your buck. They either help your quarterback or hurt the opposing quarterback, and that's what you're looking for right now. You want to help Trey in the best way possible or hurt the opposing quarterback in the best way possible. Those are the two easiest ways to do it if you're the Niners. And there's going to be plenty of talented guys who can accomplish just that, whether that's Nick Benito, whether it's David Ajabu, whether it's Arnold Ebiketie, whether it's Boye Mafe, whether it's Alec Pierce, Christian Watson. Some people will say Sky Moore. Some people will say John Mechie, take him there. I think all of those things are possible. Do you think Boye Mafe is falling out of the early second round? I don't think so, Lotha. He did technically in mine. He got to 38. And once we got to 38, I was like, yeah, I'm taking that. I'm going to go there. I'm going to take that right now. I think 38, 40 is possible. I think if he got to 40, the Niners would trade. They would come up. They definitely would. If they take center at 61, I won't be mad at all, says Eric. Maybe. It depends on who the guy is. Knowing the 49ers, they're going to draft something weird at 61, like a punter or something. No, that's not going to happen. That will riot. Jason Aponte will quit being a 49ers fan if he drafts punter at 61. They will lose it. And rightfully so. You shouldn't do anything weird. This is edge rusher, wide receiver, the right corner maybe. Doesn't feel like safety at 61. We'll see. Sounds like you want best player available. We're at that kind of spot. Right now, where you're a team that doesn't have a lot of holes, and so it's about building your roster the strongest you can possibly build it, which usually means taking the best available player on your board, right? That's the thing we don't know is how the 49ers value some of these guys, right? Elijah Mitchell had a third round grade for the 49ers, so he was pretty high up on their board. And then they were able to get him in the 6th. So you don't know, but it's going to be best available player on the Niners board. That's what they're going to do. What about using a 6th or 7th rounder on a rookie quarterback for a backup? I don't hate that either, HR. I did that at my mock draft 1.0. Mr. Irrelevant was De'Aaron King out of Miami. A guy who could play quarterback, he could play running back, he could play wide receiver, he could do a lot of different things for your offense. So no, I don't hate that. Ant and I have talked about that a lot. We both think that would be a good idea. Great idea, actually. Still sad we drafted Banks instead of Asante Samuel. Let's not talk about it. Let's not talk about it. Renee, I'm sad. I'm just sad about that. I just don't get the Banks thing. Watch Shakir catches. Oh my God. No, Shakir is talented, man. That's why when I was sitting there and I was thinking about sitting pat at 93 or trading up and making sure I got Khalil Shakir. I just made sure I came up. He is fantastic. He'd be a great fit in this scheme. He's got great hands, solid route running, run after catch ability is there. Does a lot of different things in Boise's offense that fit with what the Niners should do as well. Would you spend a first round pick on a punter that spots the ball at the opponent's one no matter where he is punting from? No. No. Not a first round pick. Third round pick, yes. First round pick, no. Doesn't make any sense. Just doesn't. I mean, you're talking from kicking from his own end zone, spotting it at the one, guaranteed every time. Third round pick. Yeah, I'll do that. I like that idea. Sudfeld seems more like Trey Lance's secretary than a backup, says Eric. Yikes. If Matt Corral or Kenny Pickett are somehow there at 61, do the Niners draft them for quarterback depth and flip for future picks? No, heck no. No way. I don't like Matt Corral at all. There are some people who are very high on Matt Corral. This is not one of those guys. Every time he throws a football, I want to vomit. I hate his throwing motion. I absolutely hate his throwing motion. It makes me want to throw up. It's sickening. It's disgusting. I hate it. Hate everything. Every second of it. I'm watching his pro day at the gym. I was like, oh my God. It was literally in between reps. I think we're doing biceps. It was arms day. It was guns. It was suns out, guns out day at the gym. And I'm doing bicep curls, doing overhead tricep extensions, doing some military shoulder press. Peek up at Matt Corral on his pro day throwing the football. I was just like, not a big fan. I have Matt Corral as the best quarterback in this year's draft class. I have questions about the arm strength. Ball doesn't fly out of his hands. And the throwing motion just, I don't know. I wasn't very invested in this quarterback, though, Michael, if we're being honest. If we're being 100% honest, not that invested in this quarterback class. So I didn't break these guys down like I did last year's quarterback class, not even close. So, I mean, I could be 100% wrong on Matt Corral. 100%. I'm not going to stake my reputation on a Matt Corral prediction one way or the other. Let's see. Do you think our run game will be just as good without McDaniels? Bomber, I think so. You have Anthony Lynn coming in who can handle run game duties and is going to be coaching up the running backs, who's had top 10 running games every year that he's been in San Francisco, or not San Francisco, but in the league. I mean, he's had top 10 running games pretty much anytime he's been involved as a coordinator or head coach. His running games in San Diego were fantastic. So I don't think you're going to have much of a drop-off in the run game. It's just going to be different. It's going to be a different attack. Bro, all you need is one quarterback, not like you should have Trey Lance, second-year rookie quarterback. I would. Could you imagine what this pass rush would do if the other teams started each drive at the one that have 20 safeties each season? You'd hope so, anyway. You'd hope so. Did you guys hire an offensive coordinator yet? Said Matthew Smith. No, we promoted from within, and you have Kyle Shanahan. So you're fine. You don't need it. Tom Brady had questions about arm class. You're right, Michael. You're right. Tom Brady's don't grow on trees, though, either. Tom Brady's don't grow on trees. Not saying he is better than the quarterback drafted last year, but in this quarterback class, for me, Matt Corral's QB1. There you go. There you go. Some people do feel that way. I know a lot of people who like him. I do like his leadership ability and some of the things I saw on film out of him in terms of reads. I do like that. So that there's that. But like I said, I can't sit here and tell you that with a straight face that I've watched a full Matt Corral game and fully broken him down. I've watched some throws. I've seen some things. Liked some of it. Hated the throwing motion. Made me sick. That was it. Don't you think Kyle is the true mastermind of the run game? Yeah, Bomber. I think that he is the true mastermind. I think he taught McDaniels a lot, but I think McDaniels brought a different level of creativity that changed how it is. Matthew says Sam Howell is QB1, and I'm a Duke fan. Man's just a dog. Sam Howell, if you had talked about last year at the end of last season, Sam Howell I thought was going to be the best quarterback coming into this draft. I'm not so sure anymore, like at this point in time, but I do like a lot of things Sam Howell does. You're not wrong there, Matthew. I think Sam Howell is a kind of an underrated quarterback prospect. Let's put it that way. Last year, this time, I really like Sam Howell. They're watching some of Sam Howell film this year. Questions, some red flags, but it is what it is. I lost Javonte, Michael Carter, and all his O-line, and some wide receivers. So that begs the question, right, Matthew? Was Sam Howell good because he had talent around him, or did Sam Howell elevate said talent? Red flags. That's what there are. 26th this year is worth a first round pick plus possible fumble recoveries for TDs. Maybe Sage. Maybe you're right. Who knows? Look, TCC, I'm going to wrap this thing up for the night. It was a fun conversation. Mock draft 1.0 for me is in the books anyway. 1.0 is in the books for me. We got a fantastic war room with Mike from Nothing But Niners tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. Pacific time. You don't want to miss that. We have an incredible video coming out for you Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific time. Another great episode of War Room on Wednesday. 7 p.m. Pacific time on Wednesday. It's going to be at 7 p.m. Pacific time on Wednesday, a little bit later. And then Thursday, right back at it with the Q&A with all of you TCC. We're going to have a blast. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're not going to want to miss this week. 2 weeks out from the draft. Draft party, April 29th, 4 to 8 p.m. Galt, California. Back Alley Brew. You don't want to miss any of it. You really don't. TCC, was a lot of fun. I enjoyed taking your questions. I always enjoy these Sunday night cutback chats. Catch you on the next one. We'll see you tomorrow for War Room. And until that time, stay safe. And remember, the right way is always the 49ers way.